The following program is a presentation of Niagara's Vox Media. Opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Niagara's Vox or our sponsors. Any rebroadcast in whole or in part without the written consent of Niagara's Vox is a violation of copyright.
Happy Friday, Niagara Graffiti.
Hell yeah. We're back.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Niagara Graffiti. I am your host, Sean Levick. And with me, as always, my buddy T-Bone.
Yeah, man. That was a long couple days for me, buddy.
Was
How was
it?
your Thanksgiving?
It was all right. I'm not a big fan of holidays or...
I made the trip to Ohio.
Yeah, you did. And you made the trip back to Niagara Falls incredibly fast.
No.
Almost scary.
No, I left at 11 o'clock last night from Ohio.
Tim, you stopped a bunch of times.
Yeah, I did.
You got to count road time, not road time plus stop time.
Well, it was, I was tired.
Yeah.
I got tired. And when I woke up to a nice white blanket of snow. Oh, all right. Oh, there we are.
Well, speaking of which, there you go.
But I forgot today was Friday, and I was getting ready to go hit the woods in Stockton, and I got a phone call to remind me that our guest was going to be here tonight, and our guest happens to be my daughter's boyfriend, who's also a really good friend of yours, longtime friend of yours.
Longtime friend.
And I was like, shit,
Well,
I got to get back to the
Let
phones.
me correct that, because me and Victor don't look at each other like friends. We've always been closer, more like family. This is like my brother from another mother right here. And there's a reason why. And we'll go into that. Kind of like I talked about last week when Earl was on, about the time my man here ran down 2 flights of stairs with his big self and clean cold, knocked somebody out for me because I was a little pansy. But
Now you're a big pansy?
yeah, because I got 6 kids and them motherfuckers are tiresome.
They knocked the shit out of you.
Man, Jackson was mad that he couldn't come in tonight. But
Oh, I feel bad now.
I don't. We talked about
Hey, do you
that.
mind if I say something to Tim?
No.
Go ahead.
All right, Tim.
Yes, sir.
The audience tunes in. They like to look at you. When you talk, look at the camera. Because when you turn to look at Sean, your entire face disappears.
I look better that way,
sitting
Peter.
there going,
Yeah, you do.
I look better
I noticed that now
way.
too that you said that. When he turns his head sideways, it's like his whole face disappears.
It's hilarious. And poor JoJo, she looks lovely on camera.
Well, that's why I turned the camera towards her, because she looks better than I do, so we're going to let her have that.
There we go.
No. We got to see you, brother. And when you talk, yeah, a little better. Nice.
There we go.
We got it. Because we like to see your face, too. It expresses things. I just won't say what.
Yeah, look at this. All this.
He cleaned up.
Oh, my gosh.
But
Shave.
speaking of which, we do have a guest on this evening, and 2 guests. Yes, I'm sorry.
A couple.
One of them drives truck. One of them doesn't. I don't think. Do you drive truck?
No.
Well, you have to teach her. But
Oh.
I'd like to welcome my longtime friend, and couldn't be any closer. There was blood related. My man Victor Sanchez, owner and operator of a big rig.
Yes, sir.
What's your company name?
DART is Dallas Area Rapid Transit, who I'm contracted through, but I am owner operator, which means I get to call my own shots,
Nice.
pick my own routes, and figure what I'm gonna do on my own, opposed to being a company driver where the company dictates your terms and what you do. So
I'm gonna help Victor out. This isn't a weird shit.
Yes, it is. Look at that. See, look at that. See,
There you
I got
go.
his girlfriend sitting over here who happens to be my
Well,
daughter.
it's just weird because I'm like, I can
And
hear him clear.
She's getting ready to come over there and get you because you're getting a little too close now.
but yeah, it's Dallas Area Rapid Transit. DART is the name of it. It's a pretty decent company, you know. It's my first time on operating. I've been driving since 2015, but within the last 3 months, I became a owner operator, which is more lucrative than driving for someone. So.
And you're your own boss, so you're actually a minority-owned business now.
Absolutely.
Very good.
I have a LLC as well, so it's paid through my business, which is separate from my personal account. And you know, the only thing about being an owner is that you have to do all the paperwork yourself.
Yeah.
So that's the
Taxes.
and I wouldn't call it a downfall, but you get to see firsthand where your money goes. So that's the best part about it.
And you also get an idea of where your money was going before you became an owner operator.
Absolutely.
Now, I just got a question for you, though.
Okay.
Which account does JoJo have access to?
She calls me, tells me what she needs, and then goes.
Best way to do it.
You don't even get a chance to say no.
Yeah, you know.
Best way to do it.
And we got JoJo sitting over here beside me in case everybody doesn't know. This is my daughter JoJo, who also happens to be Vic's girlfriend, fiance. Love interest. What is your title? What is your official title? Speak in the microphone.
As of right now, there's no ring on my finger, so we are boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh, but that sounded like it was a loaded question.
I got 6 kids by 3 different women, and I've never put a ring on none of their fingers. Sometimes it seems to create issues sometimes.
Shut up, Joanna.
Joanna's always got to come onto our show like that. I don't know why.
I love Joanna. I really
I'm
do.
sure you do because she never blocked you. Oh, she did block you one time, didn't she?
She did before.
Terrible.
She loves
Terrible.
me, though.
But
She
going-
just won't admit it.
Going back to before you became an owner operator of a truck, you were involved in the community. You've always been. You're not from here, just to be clear. You're from Harlem.
Right, from New York City, born and raised, born and bred. And growing up in New York City, it was always the older generation that gave back to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it kind of set the stage for what I do and what I've done in the community for the youth in the community. You know, it's not like giving back, especially to your own. The thing I learned is that if you reinvest in your own community, you watch the fruits develop and you watch the flowers blossom. If you don't, then it dies.
Yes.
It's like watering plants, you know? You
And
have to
You
reinvest.
got a lot of flowers in this community, though, right?
Yeah.
You got to.
Except my flowers are older, but I have grandchildren now, which, you know, again, their future, to me, you know, I'd give anything just to make sure that they have a bright future. So that's why I still pitch in and I still keep my hat in the ring, and I don't mind coaching or helping out or volunteering when I can, especially when it comes to the youth.
Well, even before that, I remember when Little Vic was still a little baby. Well, I wouldn't say a baby. I think he was.
No, he
was a baby.
He was a baby.
Yeah, you were always out in the community. Another story that I'll go into to give you an idea. One time I got tough with my mother. All right, and we were all outside. There was a bunch of us outside, and my mama ain't but like 4'3", 4'4", some shit. She's a small lady, and you know, I was out there, got my pride hurt. My mom smacked me around, telling me, you know, how to act right, and I thought I'd be smart and put my hands up. And this man right here, who was a little bit bigger than he is now, ran me into a brick wall and said if I ever put my hands up to my mother, it'd be the last thing I ever did. And that's where our friendship or relationship really, really started, because nobody up until that point in time has ever stood up for my mother besides me. So right then and there, I knew that there was a kindred spirit that I had living right upstairs from me, and it always worked out like that. You know, every time I've reached out to you in a lot of ways, it was more of a, you were open-minded. The same way we go back and forth with conversations all the time that most people are afraid to have.
So your mother's a small lady. That's why you feel so comfortable picking on Janelle Faso.
Tim, I will tell you this, and Victor knows most of my family. They're all small. Me and my brother are probably the biggest one. I'm talking about my sister, my cousin Jessica, my mama, my Aunt Sherry, or my Aunt Kathy. They're all small women. But
well, Kathy, she's small in stature, but her heart, she has the heart of a lion.
yeah, she do.
So Kathy don't take no crap from nobody.
And my cousin Jessica does not fuck around. Like, Yeah, I've seen her fight grown men, so
We can curse on this shit?
you can do whatever you
Fuck
want.
yeah, you can.
Yeah, I mean,
Let her fly, big fella.
yeah, that's what the whole purpose of me telling Jackson
Please
to come in
stop
tonight.
that.
Ain't no FCC bullshit around
Yeah,
here.
the whole purpose of me saying that Jackson couldn't come in tonight is because I knew there was gonna be a lot of fucks flying around, and I was like, I'd rather keep the flying fuck inside the house rather than have the little fuck saying fuck all the time. But
We are not G-rated around here, just
No.
so everybody's
Oh,
aware.
okay.
We should have a
Yeah.
disclaimer about that. Maybe we should incorporate that, Peter.
but
I call that
at
bold
some
talk
point in
for a
time,
one-eyed fat man.
the way my nose feels right now, I might as well be a one-eyed fat man.
Hey, by the way, I do want to pipe in and say you can't say anything about Janelle Fazio. I got to tell you, she was at the Lord's Day dinner yesterday.
She always
and
is.
quietly, humbly, just really pitching in. Really nice to see a lot of good people out there yesterday. Thanks, Sean, for connecting us with them.
I don't
gotta
even know
be
what you're talking about.
We
I
gotta
didn't
be
connect
careful,
nobody.
too, because she is watching, just so you know. Her and Lori Pello and Tiffany Lynn is watching, as well as Terry Anderson. Terry Anderson is dating my sister in Ohio. But
okay.
yeah, I see we have Miss Faso is watching, so we better be careful because you remember she's going to be on the other side of the bench. And you
Don't get
wanna
short
be
with me,
there.
Janelle. Don't get short with me. Anyhow, let's go back to Mr. Sanchez. Why did you get in trucking?
Well, originally I got in trucking because I got promised $120,000 a year from a company. You know, I used to work for UPS, and they pay their truck drivers $120,000 a year.
Wow.
So around these parts, that's like $1 million, you know. So I got into trucking for the money aspect, but when I first got into a truck, I actually, as a kid, I loved the way trucks look, rigs. I had a bunch of, my dad used to buy me Hess trucks as a kid, but I was afraid to actually step inside and drive one because it was so big. But once you get inside, it's no different than driving an SUV. You know what I mean? So 2015.
Don't tell people that. You're going to have a bunch of dumbasses out here trying to work
You got a bunch of kids.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
I mean, no, what you want to do, though, you want to encourage them to go to school and learn to
Yes.
drive one, you know, because it's a lot of money. So UPS is the only company, it's one. FedEx is offering, actually, Walmart is taking kids out of school as of the first of the year, and they paying $200,000 a year for a driver. Fresh out of Walmart, I learned that in orientation, that they're paying people $200,000 a year to drive for Walmart, and you're home every weekend. So, I mean, you travel. Of course, you see the state, every state that's 65 miles an hour on the highway. But just to meet new people and go to new areas, you know, experience new things, it's a wonderful feeling.
And I think, well, that was the reason why I asked you and Michael to come on, was because of the way you guys go around the country. And to me, hold on one second. You guys go around the country. Michael, obviously, I've seen pictures of both that you and Michael have posted. In a lot of ways, I think when kids are here, they think this is the center of the universe. There's nothing else out there. But being behind the wheel of a truck, being able to go through different states, you're able to see and stay in different places that some of these kids would never imagine. But it's also a career where you're not just making $15 an hour
I
flipping
don't
burgers.
think it's,
no.
you can't call that a career. That's more of a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's more of a lifestyle, I agree.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Tim's correct. So what happens is becoming a trucker is definitely a lifestyle, and it's an acquired taste. So you're right. For me, I remember growing up in New York City. To me, that was the only thing out there. It wasn't until they told me I was going to Niagara Falls, which I thought was Canada. Ironically, I never knew it was Niagara Falls, New York.
lot of people do, yeah.
Until I got here, I never knew it was Niagara Falls, New York. I always thought it was a Canadian thing. I'm like, why would they send me to Canada? Like another, you know? But yeah,
You're blessed.
yeah.
But now you're wishing they would have sent you to Canada, huh?
Yeah, man. I miss the Festival of Lights here. If they bring the Festival of Lights back, I might be prone to want to stay over here.
We're going to work on it.
Without
We're
that
gonna work on
parade
it.
and without the Festival of Lights stuff that went on and decking the city out the way it used to be, this place is becoming an eyesore, unfortunately.
We're advocating for that.
But
Yeah,
man, please, heavy, and you got my support. Anything I can do.
We had the mayor not that long ago. I brought it up to him, and it's been obviously, you see me post all types of. I'm a Christmas fanatic. I love to see you pull up in a truck, do a parade down Pine Avenue that's all decked out like the Coca-Cola truck.
I definitely would. I bring my tractor and my trailer, and I could probably bring a couple other trucks to ride down, assisting it. You know what I mean? If need be, some flatbeds, you could put a couple floats on the flatbeds and bring it right down. But you know, driving, it's really, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful career lifestyle to have because you can make a lot of money doing it, you know. It's not a lot of industries where you can punch your own ticket, unless you're an entertainer or a doctor or traveling nurse or agency nurse. And, driving is probably the most lucrative business you can get into.
But let's make one thing clear, though, too. There are rules that you still have to go by. Some of those include
A lot of regulations.
drug use, alcohol
Oh,
abuse,
yeah.
physicals. What do you take a DOT physical
Every
year?
2 years.
Every 2 years.
Yep.
And you can only
But-
drive for a certain amount of time in a day period.
11
right?
hours you can drive. You can only work 14 hours in a day.
That went down?
It's 11. It's always been 11. Unfortunately, some drivers had log books and they'll be driving 18 hours,
You mean those
20
double
hours.
log,
Yeah,
the double log books?
Yeah.
A lot of it's going to computer systems now, though, isn't it? Where
All of it's going to computer systems now.
And, speaking of computer systems, I know, obviously I work for the city. I know in a lot of our dump trucks, they're not even stick shift anymore. You don't even have to learn how to double clutch, none of that stuff. Is your truck an automatic?
No, mine's
you
is still a
still
man.
stick?
I refuse to go into an automatic truck. Driving this up in this area with the bad weather,
Yeah.
like the snow I hit yesterday. You know what I mean?
That I hit today?
Yeah, and you incur. So what happens is it's easier to control a truck going up and down the graded hill through
can
snow.
downshift and
Right. So all you got to do is get into the right gear and you can go. You put your engine brake on, your Jake brake, and you allow the truck to go. You know what I mean? So for me, I'd rather drive stick, but everything is going automatic. They're going automatic with everything.
I think, well, I learned, and so did Michael and Stephanie. Both my brother and sister learned how to drive on stick, and that's what Michael drives, I believe, is a stick.
Yep.
And being up in the mountains where we're at in North Carolina, you can come down the hill, and they have these huge dunes of sand, runoff dunes. And I always thought, damn truckers, man.
Well,
But then Michael,
you wanted to go build a damn sandcastle. Just admit it.
well, there was that too. But even back then, that's when Michael really started. My little brother started wanting to become, a driver. And he was explaining to me, he was like, those are very seldomly used
Yeah,
because you
very
have
seldom.
to pay to put them back together after. And
But they're very important highway safety
Yes, very.
feature, and I'd rather hit a sand dune than hit those orange barrel or the yellow barrels that are full of water.
those are
Yeah,
fun.
those are. I've seen a couple of those get hit, and those are
Yeah, I've seen some get
not
hit.
pretty when they hit those things.
The one thing about a truck too, you're sitting up high, so you get to watch a lot of action that goes on the highway.
Oh, no. Are you talking about the cars that are going beside you? And people doing
man.
inappropriate things in a Tesla?
Sometimes.
Self-driving Teslas.
Self-driving Teslas.
No, yeah, sometimes people ride by you and flash you. You know what I mean, like different things. Yeah, hey man, you be surprised.
Well,
you on the
Let me
road, man.
remind
actually, I'm
you that
not.
your girlfriend's sitting here beside me. You might want to be careful.
man,
He ain't telling them to do it though. They just did it.
The problem with me is I'm gonna be real about it. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna be real. But sitting up high though, a lot of times you kind of gives you a sense of empowerment. You're sitting up higher than the rest of the road, so you can see everything going on in
How
front of
about
you.
how about the universal symbol? Do you get excited when you see? You got the little
yeah.
kids
All the
wanting you to
time.
pull the air horn.
Oh yeah, I get
You
that a
pull
lot.
it?
I love when kids do that because it shows that they're interested.
You pull it.
Man, every time, I don't care where. For
Parents get
grown-ups.
pissed off, scare the hell out of them.
I do it for grown-ups as well. Like one time it was a elderly couple riding down, and the lady rolled the window down. She's pumping her arm, and I blow my air horn. Anybody that want to hear the air horn, I blow it for them. Otherwise, I don't use it at all. That one too.
I was going to go into something I forgot I was going to go into. I do this every episode.
It's
But-
okay. So when do I expect my daughter to be going out on the road with you on some of these things? Now that you're an owner operator and you can set your own rules, is it still an insurance violation?
Well, it's a contractual. I don't say violation, but I'm in the process of getting a green light from the company as we speak. It's actually any day now, but
Told you I'd get it in there.
what happens is that what happens is because of insurance purposes, and I think it's all a bunch of crap. You know what I mean? They got to approve it and get it approved, and then you go from there. You know what I mean? So I'm just waiting on the approval. So I'm waiting on the email. I can get the email tonight. So I'm just waiting
Now,
on the email to come in.
With Frank's, well, because my brother drives for Frank's.
And I used to
You
drive for Franks. Yes, sir.
Frank's vacuum.
And with Frank's, I'm pretty sure Michael said that he didn't even have a passenger seat in his truck.
Well, I had Frank's. I had two different vehicles from Frank's, and both of them had passenger seats. Frank's don't allow driving. They claim it's for insurance purposes, which it's bull crap. You know what I mean? Every person you talk to, every company, every insurance company you talk to, they just want to know who's in the rig with you, just in case something happens.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you got drivers that aren't. It's driving a truck. You need to be safe. Safety should be first and foremost. your safety of yourself and the safety of the public should be first and foremost. Like, you'll see drivers driving down the road in Texas at 65 miles an hour with an 80,000-pound tractor and trailer, and you tend to see the truck swerve off the road.
And it don't stop on a dime.
No, and it doesn't. That thing, you actually need the size of 3 football fields at 65 miles an hour to get that truck to stop at 65 miles an hour. And that's what people don't understand.
Well, because and the weight behind it.
Oh man,
doesn't
the inertia will push you right into the, especially if you have liquid back there. It'll shift and it'll keep you slide. Oh man.
And usually that's the worst thing is somebody that's, I don't want to say an inexperienced driver, but I remember when Michael first started, he had his truck blown over because he had an empty hull and the wind was at like 110 miles an hour and his whole truck toppled over.
Okay, so if a wind is anything more than 65 miles an hour, I'm gonna pull over right away, especially if it's empty. If it's loaded, I can drive and load it. But I was in Texas like 2-3 weeks ago, and there was a heavy wind, and I actually seen like a small tumbleweed, which ironically, I seen the stereotype.
Some cartoon bullshit.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is this? But once I seen the wind, it pushed my tractor and my trailer into the left lane from the right lane. I pulled right over, you know what I mean? Because it's a dangerous situation at that point.
Yeah.
So
looking over for fucking Wile E. Coyote.
yeah, you know, road runner. Yeah, exactly.
Seeing that and then swerving over is definitely a cartoon-ass experience that you don't want to be involved in.
Well, I had a good friend of mine who was in an accident in Kansas last year. He was driving through a storm, and the wind picked his truck up and threw it 30 yards into the field. And I actually met...
wind can be a bitch.
Yeah, man, listen, I talked to Mother Nature. I don't care what it is. You know, nature against the machine. Nature's going to win every time.
Just remember, you all were laughing at me remember when I went to Jacksonville in the little clown car, and you assholes was laughing at me. I'm driving a 1,700-pound car, and I pulled over beside a semi-truck that had pulled over.
Let's be honest, Tim. You rode a skateboard to Florida and call it a car because it's got a little roof on top of it.
It has a couple windows in it.
Yeah,
A couple windows. That he probably put in there himself.
That's what I'm talking in the Geo when I went to Jacksonville.
Listen, he pulled up one time to bring me here, and I was afraid to get inside of it because I know we could both get in it together.
There was a lot of room in there.
A lot of room, yeah. I just love picking on you. Small cars.
The crash test rating on that car doubles when you wear a sweatshirt.
We were like this. I mean, we were like this.
Like Wonder Twin Powers, shoulder to shoulder.
You know what? Kenny Tompkins and I got in that car side by side.
That's some.
And it moved under its own power.
Kenny's lost a lot of weight too.
Yeah.
Kenny's lost a shit ton of weight.
Oh man.
But it's okay. It's all good. Go ahead and laugh about my car. It's still there at the house, and it still gets 40.
You know, Victor, I had the opportunity, Peter in the control room here, I had the opportunity to work for Geico for a few years and did a lot of accident investigations. And I remember people who would cut off trucks and then complain about the truck. And it's like, in the accident evaluations, they usually end up getting some form of liability, even if they think it was the truck driver's fault. But they think that 15 feet ahead of your truck they can slip into going up the Grand Island Bridge or something like that.
That's dangerous. That's always dangerous.
People's attitudes towards trucks are like they really don't know. Like you were talking about the inertia, the just the G forces that push you when you start going downhill and stuff. They have no idea that you're driving something that is so massive and kind of. It's way different than a car. And
absolutely.
Vic, what endorsements do you have, by the way? You got hazmat?
I have hazmat. I have a tanker. I have X endorsement. So I have my hazmat endorsement. I have tanker. I have doubles and triples. I have a passenger endorsement. I plan on driving tour buses once I retire from driving trucks.
Hey, we know a tour bus company around here. We got a tour operator around here.
Yeah, there's a few of them down by the falls. They make pretty good money. All you do is drive around 15 minutes around downtown Niagara Falls.
Peter and Dave do that.
Yeah, so he makes a pretty good money doing that. But people, they don't respect the fact they think that you can stop immediately. So opposed to respecting each other, people try to. And this ironically, this happened to me in North Carolina 3 weeks ago. I'm driving, and as I'm in the middle lane, a car speeds up on the left lane. He wants to get off on the right lane. The right lane has traffic, maybe a mile long. He pulls alongside, pulls in front of me, and then he kind of tries to jump in front of me. And I promise you, if it was a car in the left lane, I was maybe 2 feet, 3 feet. I had to look over the hood of my truck to make sure I didn't hit him from hitting him. But he cut me right off, and then he flips me off, like it was my fault. But
he didn't know you got out that truck and wore his ass out, did he?
Yeah, well,
Well,
unfortunately for him, fortunately for him, it was non-confrontational. I just kept going down the road. But I wish he would have got out the truck, though.
Go
When
back
you had
and
JoJo with you, you could send her out to get him,
go back to something
kinda like JoJo.
that's very similar to that happened last year. And I think me and you actually talked about this. This is one of the conversations we had during the whole COVID thing, where the trucker was coming, and I believe it was Charlotte, where he was coming through and they said that he tried to run over a bunch of people and he was actually stopping and they pulled him out of the truck and beat the shit out of him. And I obviously, because you and Mike are out on the road, I do think about those kind of things a lot. But I think that whole situation got turned into something that was not, because of the fact that people don't understand how trucks operate, especially when they're hauling. And I think that was a tanker truck.
It was a tanker, and then those take longer to stop than driving.
Than a regular.
Oh, way longer, because again, you got the liquid sloshing back and forth. So even if you try to stop, in the ice or the snow, you'll see them on the off ramp. You'll see them slide.
Oh yeah.
And it's nothing more than again the inertia and G-force pushing that tanker forward. It's hitting the back of the front of the tanker and it's pushing it forward. You know what I mean? So that, unfortunately, we are the lifeblood of the country because we get things in and out, but people don't respect that. You know what I mean? And they don't understand what it takes. That's why I think everybody at some point should have to take not even the truck driving course, but just give them knowledge of what
Basically,
it's like.
yeah.
Let them do a basic simulator with the minute and let them drive it and let them try to stop when the car cuts them off. It may give them a better understanding, because before I started driving trucks, I was ignorant and oblivious to a lot of stuff. And then once I started driving trucks, obviously I respect it more because it's what I do, but I learned.
You learned how to, learn the basics. And maybe they should put something like that inside the driver's manual as part of a test or something like that. Because
people need to teach their kids, when you sit down to eat dinner, okay, there's 3 people in this world you should be thanking.
People don't sit down and eat dinner no more.
Well, even if you're feeding your kids, okay, but there's 3 people you should be thanking. You should be thanking the farmer that grew the food. You should be thanking the trucker that got the food to your table, and you should be thanking the soldier because you're eating it in a free country.
My food kills itself, and I have someone deliver my shit. So I don't know who the trucker is. No, I'm just kidding.
I got a good question for you, though.
I can't say that because my little brother will get mad at me for talking too much trucker shit.
Here's something that a lot of people probably don't think about. You still talk on the CB radio. What's your handle? Strawberry Cowboy?
Yeah, right.
Wait, what?
My handle is actually Big Sexy.
Big Sexy.
It's Mark Henry, but they call him Big Sexy, so that's why I go.
Oh,
They call me the Big Dick Daddy from Cincinnati.
Nice.
How we got up there? We got a bear report. Come on.
I'm so fucking lost right now.
It's CB lingo.
I know. I hear it a lot. I think that's the only way that certain individuals can talk once they've been doing it for so long.
It is.
Fuck this gum?
Nah, man, I appreciate it. Unless you, I brush my teeth.
I'm gonna point this out because I keep doing this. It's not COVID. I got an abscess up in here in my sinuses, and
Got the Ronas. It's okay.
man, the way my kids have been acting lately, I wish I did. But
Let's talk about some of the things. Now, I actually do have a little bit insight about the trucking industry. I used to work at a streak and beacon, as you guys like to call them, the Blue Beacon Truck Wash.
what were you, a lot lizard?
No. That's commercial company on the radio. Okay, you're gonna call out for a commercial company. But let me tell you something. You go to a truck stop. You really want to see an interesting nightlife. They say the freaks come out at night for that reason, because that's where that actually came from, was from the Lot Lizards commercial company. But I know that I used to work in North Baltimore, Ohio, and there was we were the last Blue Beacon Truck Wash before Michigan International Speedway. So I know when there was a NASCAR race coming through, every one of those NASCAR haulers would stop through our truck wash, and they're like, hey, give me some free wax, man. I'll give you guys some shirts and some cards, and we get hats and stuff. Now, when you pull into a spot, they expect your truck to be clean and presentable, right? Because that's a reflection of you.
Yes, sir.
And they want that. But there's also, there's also some standards, because I know, like, do you travel across the Canadian border?
No, I don't travel across the Canadian border, thank God.
But there are still DOT roadside inspections where they will pull the hood up, and if they find an oil leak on your truck, they'll red tag you. They'll park you.
That's everywhere. That's in the States. You got weigh stations that you go through constantly, and sometimes it's just luck of the draw. They'll pull you to the side, And they got like different levels. Like they got level
That
3, level 2,
random
level 1. Yeah,
inspections,
right.
Like what you get at the borders.
Right, level 1. So a level 1 is a full inspection. They pull it if your fluids are low, they'll put you out of service. You know what I mean? A level 3 is where they just check the paperwork, make sure everything is all right. A level 2 is where they do a walk around. Your lights, everything is complete. Level 1, they pull out the little flat thing, gets underneath your trailer, and they check your brakes and they measure everything and make you step on there. So a level 1 is a full all-out inspection. So
And you're going to be there for a couple hours.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You might as well, whatever you had to do, whatever appointment you had.
Plan on being at the proctologist because they're climbing right through your ass.
Oh,
with
that's
a
exactly what
fine-tooth
they're
comb.
doing.
Saying that we're talking about weigh stations and amenities, Niagara Falls isn't very trucker friendly, is it?
No, presently no. However, they are building a speedway over there
You
on
beat me to it.
over there on Military Road.
Right off the I-90.
Yeah, the only reason why I know that is because my mom lives maybe a quarter mile down the road in town Niagara.
The only reason why I knew is because I raised hell about it the other day, and somebody told me, no, they're building one, dumbass, and I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, but same thing with Grand Island. They just built like 2 years ago. They just built that welcome center there that allows trucks there about 2 years ago in Grand Island, which is a wonderful thing. You know, sometimes you can't make it to the falls, and secondly, trying to find some place to park your truck here, man, you know, it's almost like pulling teeth with tweezers, you know what I mean?
Well, you
So-
can't.
be
You
afraid
gotta
of
stay on the
pulling over
trucker's
juniors.
route. You have to stay on roads that are rated for the heavy weight that you're pulling. So
Well-
you can't just drive down any city street that you want.
With a trailer, no. With a tractor itself, sometimes you can.
Yeah.
But with a trailer, absolutely not. And the bad part about it is sometimes, as a trucker, you feel like you're being picked on a lot of times. You know,
Charlie Brown.
but people they don't give us the respect that we probably should get. However, you know, I don't want to be sleeping 1 o'clock in the morning. Somebody coming down, they turn their Jake brake on, and a lot, and I got kids sleeping, so now the baby's awake, and now I want to come outside and punch you out, but you're already down the road, so I can't do nothing about it.
Now,
So I kind of understand it.
Well,
you
the reason why I
explain
say
what
that
the
is
Jake brake
because
is?
Jake brake is an engine brake. So what it does is it helps the engine. You have a dual transmission inside of your truck. So when you put the Jake brake on, it allows you to stop without actually using your brake. Your brake is probably only about half an inch thick, your brakes in the truck. So, you know, constant stop and go. If you just keep doing that and then at a high rate of speed stopping, you'll wear your brakes out in no time.
it's also why shift is better than
gonna put-
Right.
you
I'm
can
gonna put
downshift and whatnot.
I'm going to put some mechanical experience in here for you. Semi trucks have drum brakes. Drum brakes are one of the least efficient brakes because they heat up, and until they cool down, they don't work worth a shit. So semi trucks actually have all drum brakes on them, and they're air operated, air chambers.
Uh-oh.
No, that was a bullshit call.
No,
But
I was about to say, that's the first one. No, it wouldn't be the first one we ever
no,
got.
but when you have a diesel engine runs on compression. But when you take your foot off the gas, it's not like your car. You take your foot off the gas in your car, your engine slows you down. When you take your foot off the gas pedal in a diesel truck, there is no back pressure on the engine, so the engine won't slow you
free
down.
flows, right.
The Jake brake was actually it's called a Jacobson brake. And they put those in, they actually will close the exhaust valves so that way the engine will actually use the back pressure to slow you down like it does in your car. But unfortunately, semi-trucks they have a lot louder exhaust, and they don't have mufflers similar to a car. They do have mufflers, but they're nowhere near as quiet as a car. So when you put that back pressure on and you've got those big 6-cylinder, because most of your diesel engines are 6 cylinders. When you got that big Detroit diesel or that Caterpillar engine and you put back pressure on it, that thing will echo the shit out of you. And you live in one of these, like in Ohio, in a rural county, a little burg out there, and when you hear that son of a bitch come on, and somebody's got that brake on, and it's controlled by a little toggle switch. You turn it on electrically, but when they got that thing on and you let your foot off of that gas, and that Jake brake just echoes like crazy.
I mean, on the 190, if you listen to the 190 in the middle of rush hour, you hear it brrr a lot. You know what I mean? And imagine you can hear that a half a mile away off the highway. Imagine sleeping at home and it's right
It's
next to
louder
you.
than a train.
scares the shit out of you.
It's louder than a train.
Way
But
louder.
yeah, those and you have to use that Jake brake, because if you don't, your brakes won't work, and you don't want to get 80,000 pounds of rolling thunder with no brakes or less than the braking ability than what you need. You've got to use that Jake brake. So people need to understand and appreciate. That's one of the modern technologies that's been added to trucks, you know, on top of the automatic transmission, so people can drive them, the electronic logbooks. They're trying to make it, I don't want to dare say idiot proof, but they're really making it so just about anybody can. I mean, my uncle was a truck driver for Matt like years ago, tanker truck, and I remember all the stuff that he had to do when I went for a ride with him a few times. And now, good Lord. And inside your truck, how many gauges are inside your truck on your control panel? Do you know right off the top of your head approximately?
12.
12 gauges, and you have to monitor those.
Every one of them.
You've got your air pressure gauge, you got the fuel gauge, you got transmission temperature, you've got the engine temperature. There's a lot of things, and it's not
Trailer
something.
air, your
It's
lights.
not something that, you know, if you're not properly trained, that you're just going to climb up in there and do. So people need to understand that this is something. They say, oh, it's just they call them a highway homo, or they're just a truck driver. You know what? Get your ass in a truck and try and drive it, and you're going to find out you won't.
Don't be out there saying that shit.
Oh, man.
Tim just makes up. No, I don't know.
I can see the gay community now really mad.
Man,
Sam,
we
what are you
got
doing?
canceled, son. Super canceled.
Like I said, I worked at a Blue Beacon house and stuff, so I was around a lot of experience with it. So, and it's not something that people should take lightly. That these are just a damn stupid truck driver. Bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, not only they got to be able to operate that vehicle safely, but
don't-
then you got to remember too, where the hell are they going?
I don't know
New York
any-
City. You drive a truck in New York City.
I've done
Those
that.
streets are so shitty there.
Yeah, I
They're so
messaged
tight.
you while you were doing that.
Yeah, I've done that.
You know?
But you know, it's crazy because a lot of people don't respect the big line in the middle of the street. You see the two lines for the crosswalk.
Yep.
That big line is called the truck line.
That's it.
The reason for it is it allows a truck to make the turn safely without
Wide
damaging
turns.
your car and without knocking down any signs. Unfortunately, more times than not, you see people, and it's sad because you see truck drivers above that truck line, and now all of a sudden now they got to back up. You know, it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, it allows us to make the turn safely and allows your vehicle not to be damaged. Unless you're looking for a new car, unfortunately, it comes with a hospital visit. You know.
A lot of people are though. A lot of people take that.
Yeah,
chance.
but it comes with a hospital visit.
Oh,
Man. You get hit with a tractor trailer, I guarantee you can have a little more than whiplash. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's a lot of the times it's fatal.
I think a lot of that's people being naive, though, because I didn't know about that until I got with you, and then you told me about it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was
When
like,
when you had said something about that, like just today, to pick you up over by Starbucks is where I had to take that left-hand turn to come to the boulevard to get you. That line is far back, and now because since I've been with you, I know better.
yeah.
So
But you still cross it anyway.
no, I don't.
Stop acting like your mother.
Well, I mean, I was literally
Very much.
42 years old when I found that line out. I didn't know what the hell it was until about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's called a truck line, and the reason why it's there, it allows a tractor with a trailer on it. Because again, you know, with a trailer, you got to slide your wheels, your tandem sometimes, and sometimes the closer they are, the easier it is to make the turn. The farther back they are, the harder it is to make them turns. And the truck line is designed in case your tandem's all the way to the back. It allows you to make that come out and make the turn safely without hurting nobody. You know what I mean? So,
I've always wondered why
Sliding the axle just increases or decreases the wheelbase.
and
Shorter
the
wheelbase
pivot
is
point.
easier to
And
turn.
pivot point. So it changes your pivot point. Depends on where you have it. Depends on where your pivot point is at.
Okay, here's a good question for you. What's the biggest load you've ever hauled? Get your mind out of the gutter.
I was about to say he got some kids, man. He might be his own load.
Get your mind out of the gutter, damn it.
Hey, I'm sorry. I should have pre-warned you. I knew this was gonna be a fucked up episode. Funny as shit, but
So biggest as far as weight or as far as customer?
Both.
All right, the largest as far as weight was, matter of fact, it was a week ago. No, it wasn't. It was I worked for Frank's, so it was about 3 years ago. I was coming back from Connecticut, and they gave me some liquid peroxide, and I was literally at 79,800 pounds. We're allowed to be 80,000 pounds. Oh man, I was literally 400 pounds away from maximum weight. I was so heavy that I had to, because the fuel actually it factors into the weight. I could only fill up one tank on my way back because I didn't want to be overweight on my way back. So, you know, sometimes it's little tricks of the trade that you have to do to keep yourself underweight.
so I should just
as
fill
well.
up one tank.
Yeah,
so
fill
I'm
up
not
one
overweight.
tank. Right, fill up one tank. As long as you can make it home when that one tank full, I advise to do it. If not, then
Do you know where that came up? Where they came up with that idea?
what, fill one tank up?
Yeah.
I don't know where it was a genius. Whoever did it was a fucking genius. I can tell you that.
Airplanes.
Oh, okay.
You're
That's
fucking
what-
Smokey
when
over
they-
here, Smokey and the Bandit. He's
When they were doing the efficiency studies on airplanes, they actually commissioned a study to see whether it made sense. Airplanes only fly with the amount of fuel that they need, plus like 10%, because that then cuts down their weight, which makes them more efficient. But it also doesn't leave you much room in case you have an emergency. So, but that was originally done with airplanes, so that way they could lighten up the load to make it more efficient. The jet will obviously go faster with less mass. Okay,
This
so
guy's
that
a
was
fucking walking thesaurus,
Yeah,
man.
I'm informed.
when it comes to fucking mechanics,
Nah,
I knew he was gonna be on
no,
point with it.
But no,
Now,
it's
what
good
was
though.
the
But
biggest?
you are correct. I've heard that. So the most expensive load that I hauled was for the company I currently work for right now. I had I had parts for Harley Davidson on my truck, and it was high value. So not only did they seal it, they locked it, and then I locked it, and then I guess they sent the key ahead. But once I got the Harley Davidson, like it was almost like I was some top secret government shit. You know what I mean? Because
That fucking handcuff briefcase
Man,
bullshit.
yeah, right. You know, so I came in and pulled in the Harley Davidson, and you know, the guy, he comes in the back. He needs my license. I get my license, and he's looking at my license, looking at me, looking at my license. I'm like, hey, listen, it's not going to change. You know, you keep looking, the picture's not going to change any. I ain't gonna look no better. You know what I
Get
mean?
no prettier.
Yeah. So he go in the back. So he watches me unlock mine. He unlocks his, and then I have bolt cutters. It's a regular bolt. He said, nah, I need to use my bolt cutters. Like, his was special. You know what I mean? And his was actually fucking dull. So he was sitting there trying to cut it with his bolts, and I'm sitting there watching him. Yeah. So he finally gets the bolt to pop off and shit. And then afterwards, I got to drive through Harley Davidson. They had a big center in North Carolina. So, and I got it from Alabama. They take their fucking racing serious there.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had an escort. I'm on their facility, but they escort me to the door that I need to go to get unloaded. Like, that shit was creepy to me. You know what I mean? I felt really fucking creeped out.
Yeah, Lowe's Motor Speedway is in Charlotte, and they do not fuck around about
They
their
don't
NASCAR.
play about their cars and
No.
motorcycles at all, man. That shit was scary. I'm like, should I be hauling this shit?
Now all around they're screaming, "Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon!" How do you feel about inflation? Speaking of Brandon,
Inflation.
is it killing your gas?
Oh man,
Your pocket for gas?
fuel, because we got to buy diesel fuel. In the state of Ohio and the state of Pennsylvania is probably the highest in the country.
Really?
$4.58 a gallon.
Now let me contrast that because you've
Okay.
been driving for a few years.
Yes, sir.
You can definitely see the difference between gas now
Oh man,
and when
it's a quantum leap.
Goofy was in office.
It's a quantum leap.
Okay.
Well, if we talk in the 4 years when Trump was in office, when the pandemic hit, travel was down. So the fuel was the demand,
Went
the
way
supply
down.
was higher than the demand. So what happens is they had to give the fuel away to get it out the way so they can get the new fuel.
fresh
so to
stuff
speak. Right. And so they've sort of given it away. But the fuel prices now, and I've been driving about 7 years, it's probably the highest that I've seen in all my years of driving right now. A rig, you know what I mean? So it's probably the highest. But yeah, the reason being is because travel, they're claiming because the supply is higher than demand. I mean, demand's higher than supply at this point, but because of more travel. But it's less truckers on the road, so I call bullshit on that because a lot less truckers. Because a lot of baby boomers retired within the last 3 years, so it's less trucks on the road.
Well, you were saying that before we even started. How many openings are nationwide for truckers?
Right now,
Off
it's
the top.
142,000 available positions as a trucker, and I'm talking just over the road. I'm not talking about driving regionally or locally. I'm talking about if you're willing to see other states and get out of your home area and go see other places. There's 140,000 jobs available as we speak. As of
No
today.
college degree is required for those
Did
jobs.
you go to ITI?
No, I went to National Tractor Trailer School is where I went to.
Where did Mike go?
Same place, National
Okay,
Tractor
okay,
Trailer
yeah.
School. He went like 2 years ahead of me or something like that though. We both were in the same place.
He loves that shit. You
Yeah,
know?
They're
so do I.
changing that. They're changing the license requirements too. I saw.
But
Well,
with
February
you,
7th.
I can say though, with you, it's I don't see much difference. You've always been kind of a bigger fella, you know. But when Michael, just before he started driving truck, he was in the gym all the time. He was built. Now he looks like Michael ain't Michael, and then ain't Michael again. Sorry, brother, I love you.
I can
really
tell you
do.
about the trucking industry, and this is all honesty, because you're trying to make deadlines and time frames. So a lot of times you're eating on the fly, and you're not getting out and exercising. Like, I got a jump rope now, you know what I mean? I get out and I skip rope. I get out and I walk around whatever customer while they unload my truck. Instead of me sitting in the truck or laying down to sleep, I get out and I walk around. TA and Petro actually has gyms built inside of them. And over the past 3 years, they adopted that thing. So this is called Healthy Driver. So because of that, they're trying to assist us, because again, we out all day, all night. You know what I mean? We ain't doing nothing, but we sleeping and eating and driving.
And you got the stress,
the
stress. Coffee, the diet's no good.
And the truck stop food is shit, because they eat a lot of fried food and a lot of unhealthy
steaks
food.
And shit that they ain't even really steaks.
Steak is really healthy. Like, I go to TA, and if you look at my Instagram and you look at my Snapchat, you know,
I see pictures of that.
They're really sliced up llamas.
Yeah, hey man, llama is good if that's what it is.
It's sliced up llama.
If that's what it is, the best llama ever.
I was just saying that shit because she kept saying llama and alpaca earlier. Alpaca's pretty good. You throw some A1 on it.
Yeah, right? Oh, some onions, right?
Some onions,
there
yeah.
You go.
Fry them bad boys up. I better stop eating all this gum. I'm waiting for the sound effect to go away before I start making more jokes. But I kind of felt sheepish on that one.
But yeah, so you gotta find a healthy balance between like Tim says, a lot of stress when you're driving. You know, people, you don't do nothing but drive all day, but you know, imagine driving and happen to watch everything on the road and everybody
12
on the road.
gauges.
Yeah, you know, watch 12 gauges, have to watch a trailer, got to watch your size, got to watch, make sure somebody, directions, miles per hour, how much time you got.
You ever get out and get in some of them over-the-top arm wrestling competitions?
Nah, shit, right
Lincoln
now.
Hawk.
In Texas, you know, get out in Texas and just jump out over the top. Let's go.
When you told me you were in Texas driving, I was like, we ain't never going to see him again. And then Tim was like, no, he's dating my daughter. I was like, oh yeah, he'll be back.
Yo, so let me tell you about Texas, because I'm a Giants fan. You know, it's widely known. So I have a Giants teddy bear in my window, and you know, I got Giant stuff. So whenever I go to Texas,
people honking and flipping.
Oh man, listen, especially I go into Dallas.
I wasn't gonna do it. I'm gonna leave it alone.
I go into Dallas, so I pull into a dock. They make me wait to unload me. You know what I mean? They give me shit whenever I go. But they, you know, a lot of times a lot of fun hate. Well, they think it's good hazing. I think it's wasting my goddamn time.
Yeah, it's just banter, but it's fucking with your money.
But you know, Texas is open carry state, so I don't say shit. I just go with I just roll with the punches.
Let's go into that, because I have asked my brother, and it was about the same time that we were talking about that.
Okay.
The trucker down, and I keep wanting to say Charlotte, but I feel like it was in Maryland. You're not allowed to carry on the road.
Not at all.
No weapons.
No
whatsoever.
weapons on the. If you're caught,
what about a tire tapper?
Yeah, you can have a tire tapper.
Billy.
Yeah, you can have it. But if you're caught with a gun inside of a rig, it's a felony. Whether you're licensed or not, right? So you carry state to state. If you're caught with a can of beer or liquor, it don't even have to be open. If it's inside the vehicle, it's a felony. So it's a bunch of regulations you got to follow along the way as well.
So you're not even held to the same standards that regular drivers are, simply based on the fact that.
Oh no!
Oh no!
You're in trouble.
We really fucked up.
I told you. You better
The
be
midget's
careful.
attack.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Judge.
Okay, so he's got the different. He was going over the different regulations for trucks. There are a lot of different things than there is.
Well, for us, DWI is .04.
Yep.
So I don't even have to be in a rig. If I'm in a rig, it's .02. So they don't tell you can't have a beer, but you can only have one beer at night if you're driving the truck, and it has to be when you're parked. If you're
parked for the night.
For the night, right?
Yeah.
So say I have 2 beers after dinner, and I go outside and I get in the truck, and the DOT comes by. Because sometimes you could just be at a truck stop sitting there, and they'll come to the truck stop and they'll tap on your door and they'll inspect you there.
I didn't order a commercial company.
Yeah, you know. So what happens is if you are anything over .02, you lose your license, you go to jail. It's a felony. If I'm in my car right now in a civilian vehicle and I'm .04, that's .04 for us. So it's half of it.
Right.
You're good.
No, I'm going to jail. .04. Yeah, no, I'm gonna lose my license and I'm going to jail.
I don't think. You know what? I don't. And I was saying it to Peter when we came. I don't think I've ever seen you drink or smoke when I was younger. You definitely never been a smoker, like a cigarette smoker.
No, never. Never. I was an athlete when I was younger. Plus, my dad, he made me. He was gonna make me smoke a pack of Camel no filters and tell me whatever I didn't smoke I was gonna eat. Well, I didn't like that idea.
It actually made sense because, like I said, you're one of the fastest fat people I've ever remembered as a kid. Like
I don't know whether that's a compliment or insult. I don't know whether thank you or give you a wedgie. I don't know which one at this point.
Wedgie, right over
here. What were you doing a 40 in? Like 5'2", right? Because you used to go
5 flat.
You used to go to Bill's Combis.
Yeah, 5 flat. Yeah. But in high school, I ran like a 4.4, 4.5 40. So I was pretty fast in high school. You know what I mean? It just as when I got older, you kind of get heavier because you fall in love or you have kids and
takes me 16 minutes to do 40
16 minutes?
Yeah.
What you walking backwards?
Just fucking around. I'm a 5'3" when I was in high school.
Time him with an hourglass.
But I was also defensive end, so I didn't really need. Well, I did kind of need to.
Yeah, I was a fullback and I was a linebacker, so I had to run a little bit.
Yeah, I was a defensive end and I was a offensive lineman at Bath Haverly. But that's another one of your loves is football.
Oh man, yeah.
And you've always, even from when I was younger, you've always been into that with the kids. You've always been centered a lot of things in the way that you approach children, more of a mentorship. Even when I was a kid, when we first met, I was like 16, I think. Mm-hmm. And it was never, you never talked to me in a way that was more of I was a child, he was always more of a encouraging me to be better than what I was at that point in time. And you've always done that, and I've always seen you do that, and you coached football. And we don't really have them kind of things around here as much as we did when I was younger and when you were younger. We don't have the Jawsies,
Right. Georgie Watson was a really great man. He was a really good friend of mine, and I was saddened by his demise, by his passing. That he was a great man.
And we don't have those kind of people anymore. And do you think that? And I think in a lot of ways that's why I bring certain people on, because you are owner operator of a trucking company, and I want younger people to see you lived on 20th Street. You didn't live in DeVoe. You didn't live in Lake
6th Street. Yeah,
6th.
I lived on 7th Street.
Some of the worstest places in Niagara.
Right, I lived
New
on
York
7th
City.
Street. I was born in the Bronx. I was raised in Harlem. I was uptown Manhattan. You know what I mean? And
And now here you are now. You own your own big rig company. Y'all better thank him because he was delivering shit for Black Friday. But
was he delivering toys that? Bzzz?
I don't know what it was. It was at Walmart, so it might have been Buzz Toys. And I don't know. No, that's Spencer's.
Yeah, that's Spencer's.
Yeah, right, Spencer's.
They definitely got. Yeah, Walmart's got the little ones, and they got they got a whole section right next to the condoms.
I was talking about fucking vacuum cleaners. What's wrong with you people? You guys are perverts.
Listen,
we talking about vacuum cleaners too. If that's what we calling it nowadays, what we talking about too.
I was talking about the whole section of KY jelly they got for absolutely no reason. But
look at how you're running the judge out.
My judge, I guess I said something. The judge was like, I can't be part of this conversation. I'll see you later.
Yeah, you'll be seeing her tomorrow in front of her.
Thought I'd drop off my teddy bear.
The judge dropped off some teddy bears for a gentleman.
Judge. Have a good night.
His favorite teddy bear got missing. So if anybody, we got the thing up on the page. If you want to go?
Yeah, it's up on the page. It's just a reminder that a gentleman who is he's been living with cerebral palsy. Of course, he lives in a group home, and errantly I believe it was by mistake they threw out his teddy bear, but that bear was with him for 53 years.
Wow.
It was given to him from his parents when he was 5, so he's very, very sad. And we're having a teddy bears picnic for him tomorrow at the home when he gets back from Thanksgiving. So thank you very much to Janelle Fazo and to everyone who's been. We got more arriving tomorrow.
Look at that. She's not even running for office now. She already got the office selected. She's already in. And still stays active.
Well,
in the
she
community,
spent
man.
almost.
How the hell can you?
She spent almost the whole time at the Lord's Day dinner serving.
She was at very quietly just helping everyone. I mean, it was just nice to see.
I got a lot of respect for her, man. I didn't understand why a lot of people politically attacked her. You know what I mean? It's disgusting how people try to sling mud sometimes And you know, we all got a past. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We all come from something somewhere.
I come from
You
dirt.
know what I mean? So do I. We
Yeah.
all do. You know what I mean? I'm not proud of my past.
No.
But if that's what you stuck on, reflect on somebody's past, then something's wrong with you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you gotta allow people, especially people with the past, they can make the best changes because they made the mistakes, so they'll make the change. You know what I mean? So
And that's the way I look at it with a lot of different people. Like, I'll never judge anybody because I wouldn't judge I judge myself. That's my only job in life, is to judge myself. And my only job in life is to make myself better so my kids see that better and then they follow that.
And to piss your
But
girlfriend off.
a lot of people did do that to her.
it's an old saying in the Bible: "Let he without sin cast the first stone." You know what I mean?
I like
Exactly.
throwing rocks. I like throwing rocks in glass houses.
But you know, if you're not without fault, how can you hold somebody else's feet to the fire when you've done a lot in your days? See, I don't understand people. They want forgiveness, but it's hard for them to forgive. But they're quick to beg for or ask for forgiveness. They don't even beg; they ask and they demand you to forgive them. But they don't forgive anybody else. You know what I mean? Listen,
and
that's crazy.
That's that one-sidedness that we're seeing a lot in the world. Just that's really causing a lot of our demise.
Or mob mentality. And 90% of the time, the mob is wrong, but they have the same mentality, and they're all going nowhere fast. You know.
Well, and that's what a lot of the animosity that built up during her election time was with her.
Mob mentality.
You get a couple people grabbing on shit that they don't even really know what they're talking about, and they just throw it out there, and then you get a snowball effect, if you will.
Mob mentality. And how many, the mob is wrong 90% of the time with that mob mentality.
Depends on what mob, because I think the old mob did a really good job of being.
They'll be talking about the Facebook mob now.
Well,
No, I'm talking about
members
the
of
actual
Facebook.
mob that did their shit
I
professionally.
don't know nothing.
Oh,
I don't know
the
nothing.
Italian or the.
I don't know nothing.
Those Italian people.
I feel like you're lying to us right now.
I don't know nothing. I never know nothing.
Yeah.
Shut up,
No.
Joanna.
Shut up,
I love
Joanna.
you.
Yeah.
I love you. No, I got some advice for you though, Vic.
Okay.
I got a lot of that for you, but this one here, I'm going to help you out with your issue in Texas, your New York Giants little memorabilia. Put a Trump outfit on it.
not
You
worth
put
it.
a Trump outfit
Yeah.
on there, and
Just going to
that's-
Texas.
They will unload your truck before you even get stopped. They will help you out.
I can see.
Gag me with his phone.
I can see.
I have a
Vic
Joe
putting
Biden
big
mask
ass.
for your mother,
I
JoJo.
can see
Don't start
Vic
with
putting a
me.
big ass vote Trump 2020 magnet on the top of that shirt, 2024 magnet, just to go into Texas for no reason.
Damn straight. They'd be like, first in line, get your ass up here.
Yeah, you sir, come on. But
We got your steak
Well,
dinner waiting while we unload your truck.
Yeah, we gotta bring it right to you.
yeah, I was gonna go into that Speedway thing because we do have a lot of transportation logistics that come through Niagara Falls with the
ton.
Queenston Lewiston Bridge, and we should have a lot more. of
UPS
the-
is right there, a stone throw away from the speedway that they building. And so, UPS is what? Logistics. You know what I mean? Then you got Frank's.
UPS is the only people that I like.
You got Frank's right around the corner. You got Buffalo Fuel Corp, which is right there, which are two companies that are hiring as well. And they hire right out of school as well. So as long as you show them that you're safe and you can drive, I can go on my CDL anywhere in the country. I can walk out of where I'm at right now and go anywhere in the country with a CDL and work anywhere.
Yeah.
The longest I'll be without a job is enough to get a physical and a drug test. You have to be able to pass a drug test. Sometimes a hair follicle test, sometimes a urine test. But that's, you pass a drug test and a physical and you in there. You in there like somewhere.
You want that money and that freedom. You
gotta like your money more than you like. You gotta like your money more than you like weed. It's just that
Yeah.
simple.
Priorities.
Yeah, man. Sometimes people
with
got
them-
fucked up.
And with legalizing it here, a lot of people might misconstrue. Because it's legal, I can drive.
But it's not legal on the federal level.
Yeah.
And alcohol is legal, but you can only consume so much of
And
it.
even if it was legal,
Why would
there
you want to
still
smoke
be-
weed?
Exactly.
Be high and driving.
And drive.
Believe me, I used to smoke a lot of weed. Last thing I want to be doing is driving one of them trucks and be high because you be sitting there like, oh, I done fucked up. But if you fuck up, you be done kill somebody. You know what I mean? You don't
Be
wanna
all
do
driving slow, 2 miles an hour and shit, talking about.
Yeah, you sitting there, you
I'm
just
good.
you zoned out, just driving, and your stop is like 60 miles away. You're like, how the fuck did I get here? You know what I mean?
Here's a
Holy
trivia
shit.
question for you. What's the latest truck stop that was in Niagara Falls? This shouldn't be a hard one.
Juniors.
Oh, Junior's truck stop.
Juniors.
Yeah, that
Who
one.
owns Juniors now?
The lot
City.
lizards.
The city does.
Oh, do they?
City
City
took over.
owns
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I didn't
They
know that.
do.
They took it from the guy that bought it from him because he was going to turn it back into another truck stop, and I don't know what the hell happened.
That would have been a good idea because when you go over to Cascade to the paper company, sometimes trucks run out of hours and sometimes you need fuel when you're here. And the closest fuel station for a truck here is in Buffalo. Is Jim's truck stop in Buffalo.
Yes.
So that's bizarre that the city wouldn't allow that to happen. You know
On
what I mean?
Walden Avenue.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
they did allow it. He bought it, he started it, and then all of a sudden he just started selling hot dogs out of it.
But you can actually
It was
drop
weird.
your trailer. I believe if you drop your trailer, you just have your truck. I believe you can go down to is it Star Mart downtown? Because I know they fuel buses
Yes.
there. I believe you can actually fuel your semi truck down there. But I don't know. They don't have the satellites to fill both sides like a regular truck stop does.
It would be better if they had like a professional set up a truck stop where you can go in, grab yourself a shower,
Right.
eat,
I
watch
think-
TV or whatever.
I think Walmart should
Lot
team up
lizards.
with. I think Walmart should team up with some truck company or get their own truck stop going because they have their own trucks. So if you put a shower in back there,
No, because what's the way of the world now, man? The way of the world is we're getting rid of the internal combustion engine, and we're gonna have all electric, green bullshit. Pull 80,000 pounds with a fucking electric motor for any kind of reliability that's going to last a million miles.
They don't start
like a
filling them
semi-truck.
jobs up. Tesla might.
they tried. Tesla tried an autonomous truck, and the three that they tried so far has failed miserably.
He gonna get it.
And this is
He
what
gonna
the
get it
people
soon.
don't understand when they start talking about the green energy bullshit. Okay, you want to get rid of your cars and
What?
trucks. All right, pull a camper, pull a semi-trailer, fly an airplane without fucking jet fuel or
Well, they-
without
that-
an internal combustion
You
engine.
can't fly a jet plane.
no, you
I
can't.
think that they just want to take it away from normal people driving.
Yeah, they
cars
want
and
to take
shit.
it away from the people that have to use it every day and that are scraping to get by now.
Yeah.
That's all bullshit. And like I said, those are the three major things. When you can solve those three things, and you can try and push your green energy bullshit. But until then, you're not going to do it.
Well,
For me, partially, I don't agree with the entire green energy bill, but things like solar panels, you know what I mean, stuff like that. That helps out. It's efficient.
There's
You know what I mean?
those are on the trucks, on the windjammers, on semi trucks. I've seen a lot
Oh
of
no,
those.
it's a ton. It's a ton. Actually, Speed in Buffalo, when I worked there, I transported solar panels through there. But for me, personally, solar panels kind of cut back on purchasing oil sometimes for some people, homeowners. Right now, fuel is expensive as hell right now. Gas is expensive.
50% natural gas.
Man,
went up.
right. So if you have a solar panel to heat your house, even electric, like Mount Eagle Ridge, they got it right. Everything runs off electricity. Fuck it. Heat your whole house, light it. That I agree with. But trying to turn the green energy deal to turn these cars electric, I think that's kind of.
Charge an airplane.
It just
mid-flight.
passed.
I want to see that.
It was one of the 4 proposals on this last voting bill.
Well, the airplane's not. You wouldn't. That's. I wouldn't ride an airplane that was electrically charged.
I'm not riding an airplane, period.
Imagine you
God
got a solar.
didn't give me fucking
Imagine you got a
wings.
solar panel on the side of an airplane, and the sun sets all of a sudden.
fucking eclipse.
The battery dies. The battery dies at sunset.
Well, what is that movie with, was it The Twilight Zone, where you looked out the window and there's a little fucking monster?
Yeah, right outside the window. Yeah.
You look out the window and think you got a little solar monster
Yeah,
creeping
you know.
across the fucking wing because it blows up.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, nah.
Yeah, I don't see planes going that way.
Nah, me neither. I don't even see trucks going that way realistically because the amount of power it takes to pull it, you know how much electricity? Motherfuckers be electrocuting themselves just trying to get up the road.
Could you imagine like driving up next to a big rig that had one of the
Solar panels?
the generators hooked up to a damn charging port,
There
charging
was
it
a
off a
picture on
gas generator?
Facebook about that.
That'd be
It's
hilarious.
all good. We can do it though.
Yes, definitely.
But people just say we need to raise the awareness of truck drivers out there. People need to understand, give them the respect that they deserve, give them the space that they need. You want to be able to get home and have your kids get the new G.I. Joe with Kung Fu grip? Well, truck drivers got that to the store for you to go drag your ass to Walmart and buy it.
Ain't no kids getting fucking action figures anymore, Tim. That was the 80s. If your kids want that brand new Oculus 2, you better respect these
I don't know what the hell that is, but it sounds like some important shit.
the VR,
Oh, okay.
the Facebook's new shit.
Oh, yeah, little
that
Vic
shit
was
seems
about that.
weird too. Have you seen the new metaverse?
Man, listen, I stay away from all that. You know where I'm at 90% of the time? In my truck.
In your own metaverse,
Yeah,
right?
man, listen, if it's not in my truck or it's a game called Smashy Bricks or some other shit, I don't know what the hell it is. You know what I mean? So,
I was going to bring this up earlier. Trucks are kind of like portable apartments.
mini apartments, yes, sir. Refrigerator, well, see, since it's my truck, I got to put my own fridge in, microwave. I'm putting a crock pot. Oh, I have a converter in there. I have an inverter. Mine's is 2,500 volt power inverter, which is mid-size for a truck.
Did you say a crock pot?
Yes, sir. Crock pot. I'm driving 10 hours a day.
You got an air fryer.
You know, throw some food in there. You know what I mean? Drive down the road with a crock pot. It actually, you know what I mean? The truck smells good.
I can see some big burly truckers swapping casserole recipes.
Well, see, what I do is I go right on Pinterest, and I get mine on Pinterest, you know what I mean?
Now, there are different size bunks that they put on your trucks, too.
Yep.
I've seen the ones, the reliable carriers, the orange moving company trucks. Those things they don't have an efficiency apartment. They've got a fucking condo on the back of them. Those things were huge, and they always kept those trucks clean. They were one of the cleanest trucks on the road, the orange and black reliable carriers. You know, those things were just monstrous. And then you've got the day cabs. Then you've got the yard dogs that come around that have just got one seat, and, you know, like you almost have to stand up in the damn things. They only use those as spot trailers, though.
That's it.
So what is yours like? Is it?
Mine's, well, the one I had was Speed. It had a full-size bottom bed, and a twin top bed. Most trucks come with bunk beds, come with a top and a bottom bed. The one I have now has two twin size beds, a top and a bottom bed in it right now.
But you can't have a passenger. Don't forget that.
No, I can't. Yeah, no. In this one I can, but in like Speed I couldn't. And with Frank's I couldn't. But most trucks come with bunks. You know what I mean? A lot of companies used to go with two drivers.
Switch drivers.
Yeah. So the teams, which I don't like people that long. I'm gonna sit in the truck with somebody. Plus I can't sleep. With somebody drive, these things are so dangerous that if somebody else was driving, I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Just be sitting there
Yeah,
thinking,
man, that's
this motherfucker about to kill us both while I'm sleeping.
You're
Yeah.
texting the driver, hey, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean?
Roll down the window, throw
There's
some at that
actually-
asshole.
I watched a story not that long ago about a couple. It was a couple husband and wife drivers. And that's more common than most people would think. That you get the couple drivers, the tag team road.
People sell their houses and they just say, "Fuck you, I'm going on the road." They're getting paid to drive to go see the country. Fuck yeah!
I see that a lot, especially in North Carolina. You see that, well, the Carolinas in the South, you see that a lot. So in 9 times out of 10, it's just the husband or the male backing the trailer into this. So, as far as people say, I don't want to back it in. If you drive in teams and you with somebody, either they can spot you or they'll back it in for you, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? That's really a good thing.
Especially a spot.
Oh, absolutely. Somebody watching to make sure you don't, because let me tell you about something with me at Frank's before. I
was going to say, you didn't tell me about Michael crashing that one truck of Frank's one.
No, me and Frank. So I'm backing into, I was asleep at Pilot, and there was 2 refrigerator units on each side. Them shits run all night long in the summertime, and I was really aggravated, and they just so instead of me cutting off their refrigerators, I pulled out and I went to another Pilot, which was like 20 miles down the road. Now I'm sleepy. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. So I get down the road and I'm trying to back to the spot, but I'm tired, so I'm rushing. I didn't even get out. I didn't check anything. So I knocked somebody's mirror off his truck, you know what I mean, and clean off on the driver's side. Now the gentleman woke up, you know what I mean, and he got up and I got out the truck and he was sitting there and he was just, I'm like, listen, man, I knocked your mirror off. Just give me a minute. Let me find a parking space and I'll give you all my information. So I pulled off and I went to find the parking space. I come back out and this dude he's like standing in the middle of the parking lot and looking around every truck. I'm like, hey, here I go right here. You know what I mean? He looks like, wow, everybody's not that honest. At the time I was a company driver. So I'm like, yo, listen, man, the company gonna pay for it anyway. It don't matter. Yeah, not a thing. You know what I mean? So here the company, so I gave him the information, but that's common too. You know what I mean? People you got to pay attention. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you fatigue, the best thing about my truck, see it there, I got a sleeper in the back. So if I get tired, I don't care what time of day it is, I'm going to pull over and I'm going to take me a nap. Trucking industry is the only job you can, unless you have a day cab, where you can pull over and take a goddamn nap if you're tired. You don't have to push yourself. Nothing. Pull over, take a half hour, an hour nap if you need, you know what I mean? But give yourself enough time because trucking is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Yeah. It's a marathon. It's a long, lengthy process. You know what I mean? You got to take the time.
How long is the trailer you're pulling now?
53.
How long have they been 53 foot?
The ones I've been pulling, with Frank's, they've been 48 and 53, but I've been pulling 53s my whole career.
They started at 48 foot. They started to come out with the 53 foot. It was back in like 1993. I want to say.
Don't forget the 28 footers though, the pups. They have those as well. Yep.
When I was working at the Blue Beacon, I remember They started bitching because they made the 53 footers because it's an extra 5 foot, and that's one extra pallet, which is 2 because you put side by side, and then it's 4 if you stack them higher, whichever. But the Blue Beacon was pissed because they wanted to charge companies extra for that trailer, that extra 5 foot. Because it takes a little more time to wash it, brush it, whatever. So they used to be all 48 foot. And then when they went to the 53 foot, then I believe, didn't the DOT actually do something about that as well? They were trying to say, at first they were trying to say they were over length and they wanted you to have extra license endorsement on there because it was over length then. That was another one.
yeah.
I know all that stupid old shit.
The government, like
He said it like he's not old.
right, like he doesn't look like he don't look like Santa, right? So right now, with the trucking industry, what they do now is, if you ever look at a trailer, they have skirts on the trailer. They have them extra white pieces for nothing. And the reason why it's there is because it was a congressman in California whose wife was driving home and with the daughter every day and told him it was an eyesore. So they kind of voted it in. So any trailer going in or coming out of California must have a skirt on it, or you can't. Or that trailer can't do business in the state of California.
Why did they
First of
remove
all,
them?
California shouldn't be asking for
Yeah,
anything
just
because if it's an eyesore, because that entire state is becoming an eyesore
They
with all
used
them
to
tents
have-
and shit.
They used to have all those skirts on there, just like on the back. There was extensions,
The
little flaps that
wings.
would come out.
They claim
did
it's
that for
for
aerodynamics
aerodynamics.
for fuel, but they actually did a study, and those lower ones underneath the trailers actually caused them to use more fuel. So they removed them. And you're right, that California governor was the one. It wasn't a governor; he was a senator.
He was a senator, right? He was a senator.
And he said that they want to, and the trucking companies were fighting about that because they said, now you're going to cost us more money. Now you just raised the cost of our business because we have to use more fuel.
The National Tractor Trailer Truck Driver Association. And I'm going back, I don't know why I'm hopping back to a conversation we were having earlier about the lack of drivers right now. With the new vax mandate coming into effect, the Association of Truckers said that they're going to lose 36% of their drivers because a lot of them don't want that shit.
Slow roll.
Now, when that happens, do you think that, well, because you don't really deal with people a lot out on the road unless you're at a drop-off or
Warehouse, you deal with a lot of warehouse people.
warehouse people?
Yeah, receiving, a lot of times shipping. You deal with people in the docks, you know what I mean? You're dealing with security when you first roll up to, say, a distribution center. So it's a big misconception that you don't deal. You're actually in contact with a lot of people throughout the day. At the truck stop when you pull over, at a rest stop when you pull over. So you're actually in contact with people daily. Only time that you're not in contact with somebody is when you're in that rig by yourself. But anytime you get out that rig, especially when you fuel up, you're anywhere from 10 to 1,000 people a day.
Okay, so I restructured what I was going to ask you. You do deal with a lot of people
Yes, sir.
every day. You've also had COVID.
Yes, sir.
Now, do you think that because of what you're doing, and I'm going to more of a advocating for the vaccination rather than I'm playing the
Devil's
good.
advocate. Here we go.
Yeah. Do you think that it's important that drivers get that?
It's as important as getting the MMR vaccine as a baby or something growing up. So, as a kid, as a parent, we get our kids vaccinated, and we've been vaccinated ourselves growing up. Now, because of this pandemic or because of this virus, I don't. Me personally, I believe everybody should be entitled to their own opinion. I did get my first vaccine shot, and I'm getting the second one because I had COVID, and that shit ain't no joke. You know what I mean? The first week of it was the worst. The pain, and whoever said that's like the flu, they need their ass whipped because that shit ain't nothing like the flu. I've never had a flu, and I've had the flu a few times, but that was the worst pain I've ever been in my life. Coughing, my lungs, just my insides just felt like they were about to implode plenty of days. So it was hard for me to breathe. I take 3 or 4 steps, and I can't breathe. You know what I mean? So it's some intense shit. You know what I mean? So as far as mandating, I don't think the trucking company should mandate drivers, but again, it's a per case basis. If you want to die from COVID, that should be your own opinion. Yeah, you should. I mean, that should be your own choice.
The reason why I asked you like that is because we are having a supply chain shortage. Obviously, you guys drive that shit around from different ports, bringing it to where it needs to go into the different stores, and you guys are basically the reason why we have groceries, and things that we need daily supplies. And I have to look at trucking. Well, I have to look at it from a business standpoint, not a personal standpoint, because it is a business that keeps every other business in the economy going. So I guess basically the reason why I asked that is because in a lot of ways, I think that should be an area, I don't want to say mandated, but I think the driver should take that a little bit more seriously because of the effects that they do have on the overall group of people. I don't agree with mandates. I'll never ever say that I agree with mandates. I think that's a horrible ideal. When you force people to do things, they buck the system. They don't want to deal with that shit. We know how that works. But the importance of what you do for a living.
Why do we get our kids vaccinated?
Oh,
Why do we take flu shots? You know what I mean?
I don't.
You don't. Your kids aren't
I do.
vaccinated?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Well,
No,
so
the twins are. The boys ain't.
Well, for some, like all my kids are vac. You know what I mean? I took the MMR as a kid. I remember getting the polio, taking a little pink thing and they squeezing, you know what I mean? So took the measles, mumps, rubella. I remember I took all the vaccines when I was 18 years old in college. I didn't take my booster, so they wouldn't let me into college until I went and got my booster and had to go all the way back to the Bronx, where I'm from, where I got my first shots from, right? Yeah. Go get my shot and go back there and let them give me my booster shot. You know what I mean? So, again, for me, we don't know what's in them vaccines that we're giving our kids growing up or what we took growing up, you know what I mean?
But those vaccines had how many years of research and development before?
Yeah, but a lot of...
Yeah, but that's not true either, because the MMR, they mixed those together even before they had a chance to, and then it was trial and error. They mixed them together and they started giving them to the kids in the 90s.
But before they were mixing them, when they were given separate doses,
yeah, individually,
they were at least 10 years of research and development before those were administered into a human arm.
Yeah, that's basically where my issue boils down.
I agree with that, but they've been testing SARS, which COVID is just, it's another version of SARS. It's just that's all. It's just a more intense. It's like SARS on steroids.
How long have they been studying SARS?
About 20 years, 24 years to be exact.
And they haven't been able to eliminate it yet. They haven't been able to eradicate it yet.
How can you eliminate a virus, though?
No, you can't get rid of the flu either.
Right, no. Absolutely. And the flu's been around since, 18?
But the flu they've been studying for many years. We'll say 50 years. The best
100.
The best efficacy that they've ever come up with, which is the maximum effectiveness against the flu virus. The best they've come up with so far has been 60%, according to CDC.
That's one thing that bothered me with this whole vaccination. I understand the rest of them. The rest of them you got to have to go to school. Mm-hmm. You can't even put kids in elementary school without polio and measles,
mumps, rubella, right?
This one though for me, and it's gonna go back. It's gonna sound really bad coming from me. Okay.
Then I'll second it.
I don't think you will once I say it. The shit happened too fast under Trump. The development of that vaccination to what it does.
Doesn't matter who it was under. Who
I understand.
Was.
I understand.
It was too fast.
But it was incredibly fast the way it came out. Now I understand they've been working on it for some time now. But for me, just me personally, because of my own history of health, it kind of scares me. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, when I was 11, I had tuberculosis. What is it going to do that shit? Because you never get rid of tuberculosis. I can still test for it positive right now. Or with the younger boys, because they did that study to where they said 86% of the boys in the case study ended up getting heart inflammation. I'm not giving it to the younger boys, but my older son and the twins have had it. Is that me wheezing? Jesus Christ. But I didn't want to break it out into a bigger, to the entire everybody type thing. I wanted to be more specific on the importance of having a select group of individuals similar to the military, how they would do the military, only because of the importance of what truckers do.
And I'm with you on that. Like, so when Donald Trump first rolled out Operation Warp Speed, I thought he was the most craziest individual I've ever ran into in my life, because he wanted to fast track a vaccine. When I did a little more research You know what I mean? I understand COVID is a form of SARS, because even when you test positive, it says you test positive for SARS-2. It don't say, it says COVID in parentheses, but it says SARS-2.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
definitely
mean?
a form of SARS.
Right, so it's a form of SARS. And after doing research, they've been looking into SARS almost as long as they've been looking into AIDS. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, SARS is about 60 years old.
Right.
SARS-1 was started checking on it back in the 50s or 60s.
yeah, 40s, 50s, they started on it. So with that being said, you know, Operation, all he did was fund these companies to actually put out the
Drop what they were doing.
right,
and focus on that.
absolutely, and then focus on that. So, and this back, like I told you earlier, like before we got on the air, like I don't dislike like Donald Trump's like he did some amazing things. I mean, what I didn't like about him,
Fucking Tim
what,
over there.
what I didn't like about him is the way he bullied people. You know, so to me, it was politicized. It became the vaccine, the virus, all became political. So people's health became secondary, and people started standing on a political party, which to me is ludicrous. You know what I mean?
Stupid as shit.
So if you're gonna put a party that don't really give a shit about you ahead of your own health, then something's wrong with you. You know what I mean? I don't care whether you're a Democrat or Republican, whatever you are. If you're gonna put a political affiliation ahead of yourself and the rest
Out
of the
common
world,
sense
man,
in all
listen, then,
situations. Yes.
then-
Oh, I
then
didn't mean
something
it as far as because it came out under Trump.
No, I'm not talking about you personally.
No, you're talking about the ones that are out there
Yeah,
saying,
oh man, I had a guy come up to me, another truck driver, and I don't know, fuck him. His name was Sweeney. When I was at,
I don't know, fuck him.
Yeah, Eric Sweeney. When I was at Speed, he walked up to me. He said to me, he said, and you know, he makes it abundantly clear he's a Trump supporter, which it doesn't matter to me. I know a bunch of Trump supporters.
I didn't even know that
So-
was sitting there.
So that you know that's cool.
Fucking
so,
Peter.
So what happens is he walks up to me and he says to me, you know, the vaccine is designed to take out black people, right? Yeah. So I looked at him.
Let's go.
That's
Let's be honest though. That Tuskegee Project shit,
I
man, it's
understand.
always gonna stick in people's minds. with that.
No. But Sweeney's a white guy though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
but-
I understand that Tuskegee, but everybody's it's not like they're saying this is the black version of the vaccine, this is the white version of the
okay,
vaccine.
okay,
You know
I
what I mean?
see
They're
what
not
you're
separating per race, and this is the Puerto
Fucking
Ricans.
ignorance.
I'd be fucked because
and
they
this
wouldn't know what to give me.
This is the Indians, this is the Native Americans, this is the Eastern Indians, Jamaicans, so they don't separate it. You know what I mean? You come in and they give it. So what he honestly looked at me and he said that. You know, he looked at me and said, you know, and I just really looked at him. I'm like, yo, do me a favor. He's like, what? I'm like, man, get the fuck away
Don't
from
have
me.
any kids.
Well, you should have just told them they're just gonna give me the Puerto Rican vaccination.
Yeah, that's it.
They're
right,
gonna give me
right,
the
Puerto
Rican.
Rican first. Yeah, I'm like, do me a favor, man, get the fuck away from me,
My
man. You know what I
thing-
mean? And he walked away.
My thing about it is, once they do enough research on it and they can show me the results of a long-term study, I can always go get it. But if it comes back that it's bad, that they can't produce, or they start finding negative results for it, you can't get that out of your system. I still have the choice
Listen.
to be able to take that,
I don't trust Bill Gates.
and that's my thing.
I don't trust Bill Gates, and I know Bill Gates made this shit.
He
didn't
made
make
the
it-
statement about
Bill,
wanting to eliminate
Bill Gates made
population.
this shit in his basement with his wife, and then she left him after that. And they had Donald Trump down there using a beaker too.
It's alive. It's alive.
And somewhere Kamala Harris and
coming down
Biden,
the back.
they were all.
Are you a good witch
Listen,
or a bad witch?
I'm gonna call her right.
We
I'ma
have
call her
more
right now.
medical experience than fucking Bill Gates, though.
I'm gonna call her right now. I
man.
seen what happened. All right, you got Mike Pence and Donald Trump, Bill and Melinda Gates, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris, all on Epstein's Island, making this
Yeah,
shit.
there you go, making it together.
They gonna cancel
Cooking a
our
batch.
school.
And
Crack
we
up.
have a new variant coming out of
Yes.
Africa.
Oh yeah.
You
That's
know,
exciting.
I seen that
Well,
earlier.
are you referring to the Delta variant that's
No.
already
No,
here?
It's
the
some
new
new
variant
weird shit.
1.529.
More
Yeah.
1.52. There we go.
Here's the weird thing
I'm playing
about
that number
that.
today. 1529.
Here's the weird thing about that new variant that's coming out of Africa, because they imposed travel restrictions very, very quickly.
Yep.
Now there's something that's going on and has been going on in Africa, and I don't really like to talk about it that much, but there's obviously a shadow war. Africa's very, very rich in natural resources.
Yep.
We also just found out that little Hunter Biden owns a cobalt mine in Africa.
Not Hunter.
Okay. This was
Hunter's
just
the
found-
best. Hunter's the biggest fucking hustler. I need to get his number,
Yeah,
man.
man, he's a
'Cause
fucking G.
Yeah, he's into everything.
But-
he goes from junkie to genius overnight. I need to fuck with Hunter
It
Biden.
might have been the junkie part that made him a
Yeah,
genius.
yeah, right.
Listen, Joe Rogan's smart as fuck, and he's
Yeah,
done a lot of acid.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
somebody
you
give
never
me
know.
Hunter Biden number. Hey, can somebody got Hunter's number?
Man.
It's probably in that laptop that they have.
Wait,
That they
the
forgot
laptop. You can go to NYC and grab his laptop.
They
He's probably got
forgot
another one
about
there.
that. No, that got
fine.
lost.
Yeah,
I need
that
to
one got lost.
find. Hunter is a fucking hustler, man. He
But
he's
the
probably
reason-
a bookie too in the low. You know what I mean?
And
He's
junkie.
getting all types of
Junkie.
monkey. He's getting all types of money.
Yeah.
So, Vic, have you ever been refused to be able to deliver your load about your vaccine status?
No, but when COVID first started, I was refused to load in Jersey. But that was when it had nothing to do with this is before the vaccine.
So that's one of the things also as a truck driver, you have to be able to know what the individual laws are because like we've got Erie County is separate from Niagara County and their
Right, two laws are
cars
different.
putting different restrictions on. Now, that's something that you would obviously have to be aware of as well as a truck driver.
Oh, I grabbed my hat like I was wearing the fucking Yankees hat.
Yeah, but yeah, I haven't. But the dispatchers and the fleet managers, they know and they know which drivers to send where.
So you have to disclose your medical record to them if you're vaccinated.
Well, it's your job. I mean, if you work in some place and the job has a certain requirement, you don't have to do it, but you don't have to work there either. You know what I mean?
But do they check the person that manufactured the stuff that they're loading on your truck? Did they check the person that loaded the shit on your truck? Did they check the person that put the air in the tires on your truck? Did they check all these histories for all these people that have had contact with that truck?
Well,
that's what I think is wrong.
Well, if it's a company requirement, then yes, they would take every precautionary step along the way. If it's not, then it's not specific to each driver. But they for any company, and I tell this for anybody, any field, and I love people in the medical field, I'm a strong believer myself personally. If you're in the medical field, then you should be vaccinated. The reason being is because you're dealing with people every day.
Yeah.
And if you get COVID, you stand a chance of not only giving it to the people there and killing them, you stand a chance on getting COVID from the people that are
Taking
there.
it home.
Yeah, man, you firsthand. You right in the front line. You
Yeah.
right there dealing with this directly. You know what I mean? So for truck drivers, like I said, for me, I'm getting my second one. You know what I mean? But I understand that it's freedom of choice.
Yeah.
But with that, this company is free to choose not to employ you anymore as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they have a freedom of choice as well. So that's the best thing about working and living in at-will states. So these companies can hire and fire you at will, and if you don't comply with, unfortunately, their demands.
This is a big, bad, slippery slope
Oh, yeah,
that
it
we're
is.
coming into right now.
It is.
Because they can just change requirements for jobs. And now they're basing this one off of a medical issue. We have the ADA compliance for a reason for Americans with disabilities. Now you're starting to cross into medical compliance with the HIPAA law and everything else, and ADA compliance with anybody that's disabled. Now,
HIPAA only applies to hospitals and caregivers. HIPAA doesn't apply to private companies.
No.
A private company is more than allowed to ask you, just like in Buffalo. What's that one place in Buffalo you're not allowed to go into unless you show them your vaccination card?
Highmark Stadium?
In New York City.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, Bill Stadium too. But there's a restaurant.
Well, in New York City, you can't go anywhere in New York
Mr.
City.
Goodbar.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mr. Goodbar. Yes.
In New York City, you can't go to any restaurants, any movie theaters, nothing unless you fully vaccinated.
Same as Canada.
But with that being said, you can't drive a truck if you got diabetes. You know what I mean? So if you have had a heart attack, they'll take your CDL from you. So you have to have some sort of healthy background. You know what I mean? You have to be healthy to some capacity. Because if you're not, they're not going to let you drive. Well, let me rephrase my statement. If you have diabetes, they have to monitor you closely. You can still drive a truck. If you have type 2 diabetes.
Until it gets to the point where it's not manageable.
When it becomes type 1, then you can't. Your type 2 diabetes, you can still drive a truck. And they have to manage it. And your doctor, actually, you go from 1 year to 2 years, and every 3 months, they got 90 days. So they got like different kind of medical cards. I mean, some guys make you go see a doctor every month, get a physical every month. But if you have diabetes, and then you don't have to tell anybody you got diabetes. However, when you get a DOT test, they stick that dipstick in there, and if you have calcium in your urine, then yeah.
Now, are you a member of the union, Teamsters Union or anything?
Yeah, I used to be part of the Teamsters Local 449 in Buffalo. That shit is a joke.
Yeah.
The UPS was their cash cow, and then unions ain't what they used to be. You know what I mean? They what they do is they cover the bad employees. So the employees that don't work, they kind of
I said that to
cover
Tim.
for them, and you know what I mean. And the ones that do work, they suffer because you got to pick up the slack for the slackers, and they can't get fired because the union gets them their job back.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I told Tim about why I have issues with
You
unions
got
because they cover the shitty workers.
The union's like a marriage. You got to take the good with the bad.
Shit, it's more bad than good in the union.
Well,
That's why I never been
depending
married.
on what union you get into, you're right. Some of the places that they have to cover, you're absolutely right. There's good apples and there's bad apples.
Well,
A lot of the food service unions are fucking horrible, though. I mean,
Well, same thing the truckers union. Local 449 took UPS's money, took our pension money when I was there, and they brought Yellow and Rail out of being bankruptcy, and they became unionized companies. But local 449 actually paid their bills and brought the two companies out and fucked up UPS's pension. So even with that, you giving money to an entity that you have no control over what they do outside of your medical, your dental, and your vision. You know what I mean? You have no control over it. So they're playing Russian roulette with your pension, and you have no say so. Of course, you vote, you know what I mean? But who knows if the votes aren't fixed, mail-in ballots.
Hey, speaking of elections, let's talk about that.
The guy that owned FedEx is a fucking G, though. He took the last little bit of money from FedEx when it was about to go under. It was like $5 or $6 grand. Went to Vegas and spent that shit and came back with like enough to cover his company for 6 months.
So the CEO from UPS a few years ago, while they were cutting employee wages, he gave us a $2 million raise. Yeah, and he's been
I need that job.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm in the wrong place. I'm sitting here loading these trucks. He in the office, and he just said he needs a raise. You know what I mean? And he took a raise. I'm in the wrong end. I'm at the wrong end of the spectrum. You know.
Well, let's talk about the election for a second. Here.
Okay.
You know I was running for county legislator in the 6th district.
Politics.
Yeah. We're gonna hit
You
this
got
one.
you got the ad for the Furious 15? Let's run that real quick, and then we'll go into this politics.
Okay, yeah, let's run that. Hang on.
I guess I should have said it earlier.
What the hell's a Furious 15?
You'll see in a second. We had to make Tim his own segment.
You know, I'm in the truck all day, so I don't know what's going
I mean, you
on.
gotta watch them. We're all
Brother, you're on my
YouTube.
friends list. You should be watching my shit.
Yeah,
You want me to watch the
definitely
shit? You want me to watch the road?
I
mean,
watch your shit when
Hey,
you put it on there.
Listen,
You want me to watch the shit? You want me to watch the road?
His voice gets really high, doesn't it?
I know my little brother watches shit while. I don't know if he watches while he's driving. Let me not say that because it'd be a funny joke to me, but then he could probably get in trouble. Michael's a very, very. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Furious 15. 15 minutes of everything local that you need to know about. We're going to talk about this 6th district race that looks like it's going to go into contention in the court system. What do you think there, Timbo?
I think it's probably gonna, but I don't think it should myself. There's processes in place for in the case if there's a tie, which currently there is not. Currently there is the one person has a 1 vote lead. Mr. Kennedy does have 1 more vote than Mr. Vocio right now. But that's being contested because there was one affidavit that they've ruled is disqualified. Both election commissioners did say that vote should be disqualified. But since the election is not official yet, that the one election commissioner has the right to change his mind. Mm-hmm. However, Tuesday there's going to be a full recount for District 6. And if there's any discrepancies, then they'll have to be dealt with. But there's one candidate that said that he probably won't file a lawsuit, probably being the operative word there.
Yeah, that's never good, probably.
But
They probably should have did shit while they were in office as city council members. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there.
And you know what? The vote count is 775 to 776. So you do the math, it's 1,551 votes. Okay, that's all that showed up to vote in the 6th district. So obviously that low turnout should send a message. But my thing is, now that they've got this and that's possibly contested, that what they wanted to do on Monday, the legislature wanted to make the rule change so that they could appoint, because they don't want to leave the seat empty. So they want to be able to appoint somebody. And of course, we've got a 10-4 Republican majority right now in the county legislature in Niagara County. So obviously then the Niagara County Republicans would be able to appoint a person in that position. But that opens the door for two things, because number one, that appointment is only temporary because they have to run a special election.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, in that special election, if they happen to appoint one of the two candidates that are running, one of them could possibly claim the title of incumbent, which is no, because incumbents have a higher possibility of getting reelected.
Yeah.
So, me being that I was the third candidate involved in this race.
That's where I was headed.
I was in the primary. I lost by 44 votes. But my thing is, number one, does this mean that since they're going to have to rerun this in a special election, then that means that I can go back through another primary again?
Mm-hmm.
Number two, if no, my thought is they should, if they're going to appoint somebody, I think, me personally, I would think that they would want to appoint me, because I'm not going to be one of the two candidates, and then there is no
Let 'em run later.
incumbent.
Yeah.
And then those two candidates that are still running that are going to have to rerun, those two won't have to deal with, nobody will have the excuse, well, I couldn't run my campaign because I was doing the job or anything like this. They'll both have the same equal opportunity to have the same candidate time. And they won't be preoccupied with doing the job. And obviously I was qualified, since I did get on the ballot and everything else. I did meet all the requirements, that I could actually do that, because I'm telling you all right now, you're going to see me in that ballot again in 2 years.
Yes.
So I don't, personally,
But Tim,
whoever wins, wins.
not-
That's who my opponent will be in
Not
2
pointing
years.
fun, but nobody voted for you in this
right.
election. They voted for both the other two candidates. So
131
why-
to 87 was in
Right.
the primary.
But how can they appoint someone that no
Oh,
one voted for?
I see what he's talking
Yeah.
about. He's talking about because you weren't involved in the generals.
No,
Right.
I was knocked out. And now I could have been involved in the general. I could have
Ran write-in.
run a write-in candidate.
Like I fucking told you to.
But I knew that I was going to run in 2 years, and I didn't want to I didn't want to interject myself into the general race. No, let these two guys run. Let's see who's going to win it.
But the reason why I said that to you during the primaries is that you should still run as a write-in is because primaries are made for parties.
Mm-hmm.
That means that you only had access to how many ever Republicans.
1,450 Republicans.
Now, if you would have ran write-in, you would have had the entire pool.
Everybody in
that they've
every
been able to
registered
vote for.
voter in the 6th district.
And I think people would have probably voted for you. That's just my own opinion.
Well, I'll bide my time for 2 years. I'll sit back because I'm not.
You
going
already
anywhere.
know how I feel about both of them fucks. So I'll just leave it where it's at.
But I'm going to wait to see what's going to happen, because it is something that I'm going to look into, because, like I said, if they're going to rerun that in a special election, then I should be able to be involved in that. I should be the third candidate as well. So we do another primary, and we're going to go through the whole motion again. Or if they say, no, you can't, well, then I think that maybe they should appoint me to that seat and let me sit in the seat
what
until
party
they
would
can
you-
actually get a declared candidate, an official declared candidate.
But what line would you run under, though, in that
I'm a
case?
registered Republican.
Right, so in that case, then the Republican vote becomes split, and
Yeah.
Well, that's why we had a primary. So there's only one Republican candidate, one Democrat candidate.
I understand. Trust me, I know the process very well. I've been working on campaigns since I was 7 years old in the
Why the hell
Bronx.
didn't you help me?
Well,
You're dating my daughter and you didn't even fucking help me.
you know,
Dude, that's bullshit.
I try to steer clear of politics.
You've
in Western
stayed
New
in
York
my house.
nowadays,
I've had you
so-
over for
Yeah.
dinner.
We
You
are
shut
worn
up.
out from politics.
Yeah,
I
this
am. I'm hungover. I politic hangover,
shit-
but
definitely a politic
what
hangover.
happens is the Republican candidate, you run, he runs. You're going to split the Republican vote right down the middle.
Theoretically,
nothing.
not necessarily.
But you're going to take some of his votes either way, because if you lost about 44 votes, imagine the Republican turnout during the write-in, or for you run the Republican ticket, you're really going to rob him.
Oh, it was-
You're going to pull a Byron Brown. You know what I mean? Well, he actually won that write-in election.
That
which,
shit was impressive.
no, it's not impressive. He's a clown for that. He lost the primaries fair and square. Take your loss. The one thing I hate when people say, and this gets under my skin, is we don't have time to train people on a job. Where the fuck did you learn how to become a mayor at then?
Exactly.
On the job, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It wasn't like they had some.
I went to mayor
he went to
school.
Yeah, right. He went to mayor school. He was mayor of another state somewhere.
no. Byron Brown does have a master's degree in political science.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything. A master's degree in political science don't qualify you to be a mayor.
True.
It doesn't qualify you for, it just means you're very good in politics.
Does a law degree qualify you to be a mayor?
No, it doesn't. So again, the voter turnout is what happens because I know what he was going. The voter turnout, even for that, was really low. You know what I mean? It was so nobody's really reaching out to constituents. You know what I mean? Nobody's reaching out, and that's the bad part is that. And a lot of times I see people running for political office, and instead of them talking to people, they start to take shit personal and they start to attack the people that ask them questions. A lot of times people are oblivious to what's going on in the background, so they don't know. And when they ask questions, a lot of times out of ignorance, and I watch people that are running for office attack them instead of answering the question. That's
they
why
attack their personality.
And that's why I respect Janelle Fosso, because no matter how much they attack that woman, she answered the questions and she did it so eloquently. You know what I mean? And I respect that about her because she didn't care what it was.
Well, that's what.
Oh no, I was bringing up a script there, Sean. Sorry, it came up accidentally.
But it's obviously something that's going to be have to be discussed and settled, whether it be through the court or through the committee chairman or whatever they're going to do. Hopefully, they're going to go through. They're going to do this recount. Everything's going to be where it is right now. There's going to be a one vote lead is going to declare the winner, and let this be known to everybody: your vote does count.
It does, and you can see that with the Owen Steed and Jeffrey Elders, because he only won by one vote.
He did.
Same with the 6th district, but I'm going to go ahead and say it, and I've said it, and I'm not going to. I stand firm on this, regardless who goes in there. Y'all in the 6th are fucked when it comes to legislators. Because
it's only for 2 years.
They didn't do anything as council members, and I guarantee you they're not going to do anything as county legislators.
Maybe they'll turn over a new leaf when they get into a different area.
Well,
hopefully
they could, but there's certain people that stand out to me that Kenny gets out in the community, he does things. Ort's out in the community, he does things.
Janelle
Fosso gets out in the community and does things. You're even when you don't fucking run.
I don't do anything.
You're out in the community doing things.
I don't do anything.
Well, you're being Santa this year, so you are fucking doing something.
You are already. You're on your way.
Ho, ho, ho. Anyhow.
Where?
There he goes again. He's telling us to keep our minds out of the gutter. He's looking for fucking shortcakes.
Hey.
He's getting them elves lined up.
But that was your Falls Furious 15.
That was the inaugural one.
Yeah, that was the inaugural one. We'll figure out some other stuff. I wanted to talk about maps, but I don't really feel like that's a conversation that anybody wants to get into. Do you know what maps is?
Oh, yes.
You mean like an atlas?
No, like a minor attracted person. There's a book out by an assistant professor.
You can't call that book. You got to call that trash.
He wrote it. It's a book. Unfortunately, it's selling.
Trash.
See, I'm not attractive, so I don't know.
I'll send it to you later on, and you can watch this video. It's just absolutely disgusting. They don't want people to be called pedophiles and want them called maps.
The fuck?
Yeah. Minor attracted persons.
You know what they should be called?
Dead.
Right. Somebody.
Oh wait,
I got an idea. No, I got an idea. This is perfect. They should chop their dick off and stick it on their forehead and walk around with their dick on their head.
I said that.
So they want to be dickheads. So they can't bother nobody else.
Yeah.
Just castrate them, put the dick right on the forehead.
Yeah, that's what's up. It'd be easy to identify.
All day long.
And the reason why it bothered me is because, and I was talking about it earlier to Peter, I was going to bring it up as more of a discussion topic. The problem is for me, and I think it's a problem for all of us because all of us have beautiful daughters. We all have kids. Parents. Like your daughter's birthday was just a couple days ago, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. 22nd of November.
Obviously, Tim's sitting next to his daughter. Y'all see my daughter probably within the next 2 weeks. And this is coming from a very real place. Niagara Falls, the city itself, and you can look this up. This isn't just me shooting shit out there. Go to Niagara County Sheriff's Department. You can look under the offenders list. Type in the city of Niagara Falls. We have 309 sex offenders. Now, that's up over 100 sex offenders in the last year.
And remember, those are just the registered
sex
offenders that have been ordered to register because they have been convicted of a crime.
Yes.
That doesn't include the ones before the sex offender registry was put into place, or the other ones that were able to plea bargain it down, which is bullshit.
Yeah, those ones dealing with it right now in court.
They got a house where they house them right next to Niagara Street School.
They shut it down.
They moved them all over to right next to Abbott.
And they got some on Main Street as well.
Next
you know what I
Abbott,
mean?
yeah.
It's like that's
there was one at the top of my street, but it's been shut down too.
Yeah.
That's bizarre how our kids are subjected to this bullshit. You know what I
But
mean?
you know
That's
what?
crazy.
In the immortal words of Paul Deister, well, they gotta live somewhere.
Not here. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, and
Epstein Isle. Send them to fucking Epstein Island.
give them the whole fucking island. They
you
can
go.
have it.
There you go. To
It's
themselves.
vacant now.
To all
Go there.
themselves, yes.
Go to
And
Epstein
then
Island.
that was something I wanted to bring up, but I
That's
try
our
to.
next Furious 15.
Yeah, that'll be the next one. I'll do
Maps,
some
what the
research on that.
Fuck.
Yeah, maps, bro. This book is called The Long Shadow or some shit by a teacher that just was forced to resign. But do you have any words of wisdom to children out there that might want to get into what you do for a
To
living?
anybody looking for a career.
Yes.
I don't care about grown-ass adults.
If you're looking for a career, you're looking to make, everybody wants to make money, everybody wants to be able to pay their bills. If you want to really make a lot of money and put a nest egg up for your kids, for yourself, you want a vacation, whatever you want to do, the trucking industry is probably one of the most profitable industries around today. There's not a thing on the shelf or anywhere around that a truck hasn't brought in to a supermarket, a store, anywhere. Trucks can go places trains can't go, planes can't go. We haul more than a regular car or a van. Only thing is, you just got to be able to pass a drug test and be in somewhat of a decent, healthy shape, condition to drive a truck. But low end for truck drivers are $60,000 a year, and that's the minimum wage for a truck. High end for a trucker is $500,000 a year. You know what I mean? So everybody's not gonna make $500,000, but that's high end. That's if you're really working on your own, or you working with teams and y'all getting money together and pooling your resources and you driving constantly. But the trucking career, you can drive for modern, you can drive dump trucks. Just the driving career is probably one of the easiest industries and the most rewarding industries to get into.
Now, you need to clarify, too. One thing that needs to be clarified is you still have to work. Don't think you're just going to sit your ass in the
you
truck
gotta
and
work.
you're just going to sit there and collect a check. No, you got to put in the time. You got to put in the work to make that money. It's like any other job.
For anybody that's ever said there's nothing to do, there's nothing in life, there's nothing this and that and the other, you got to get outside of your comfort zone of Niagara Falls, and the trucking is a great way to do it. You're making money. You might fall in love doing it, because a lot of people that I know fell in love doing that shit.
I did. Like they say, the steps to success is taking that first step. You take that first step, and then you go on to your steps, to the road to success. But you got to take that first step.
And with technology now, it is a lot easier to do this job because you got Wi-Fi, you've got video phones. You know, you can still stay in contact with your friends and family even while you're out on the road.
Yeah, I'll send them a message all the damn time.
You could put a TV.
randomly.
You could put a TV in your truck if you really want to watch TV that
Satellite
bad.
systems,
So
yes.
yeah, it's just a lot of things. The trucking industry again is probably one of the most lucrative and prolific industries around. Other than the dock, you don't have to go to school for 6-8 years to be a truck driver. You go to a truck driver, find somebody with a truck to teach you how to drive. A week or maybe two, maybe a month. You know what I mean? So you don't have to go to school for a long time. All you do, you show the DOT, New York State, that you're safe when you're driving your truck, and they'll give you a license. You know what I
Now,
mean?
this is just for a long haul truck because now I have a local CDL for here in the city because our dump trucks have air brakes and I actually have truck and trailer.
You have a C,
I have a Class B.
a B.
Yeah,
No, that's
which
not
is local.
But no, on your see, it is because on the application you check local or you check long. Or you can check either one. So you got even for CDLA, you can check local on that as well.
But with my CDL, all I had to do was go take a written test and take a road test.
That's all you got to do.
You don't have to do driving school to show
No.
a certificate or anything for that?
No, I know a lot of companies, like it's a company in Syracuse, Swift. They'll train you while they pay you on the job training.
I have a Class A.
Yeah, you don't. Oh, so yeah, you can pull a tractor in the trailer. Yeah, yep. So,
But now, I don't know if you're aware of
well,
this.
yours is interstate. It's intrastate and it's interstate. So yours is interstate. So you can.
But there is a rule change coming up, a regulation change coming. I don't know if you saw it. February 7th, they're making a mandatory 4-week class that you have to take to get a CDL now, effective February 7th. So if anybody's going to get a CDL, you better get moving on it now before that mandatory 4-week course.
But even with that, I've seen that. But even with that, if you're driving with somebody, a trainer for 4 weeks, it's equivalent because it's either the 4-week class or something equivalent. Which
On the job training.
Right, on job training. Equivalency is working with somebody. Once you get your permit with a CDL that can take you with them on the road, or even around locally, just to really, but it has to be certified. You have to log in actual hours, so you have to be logged into a logbook.
And remember, if you
like
have a
that.
girlfriend out there and you're a truck driver, you're not picking up any lot lizards or commercial company, right, JoJo? Let them have it.
I think Tim's about to make her our fucking thumbnail. Or Peter's about to make her the thumbnail of our video.
Looks like he's got me like he's like spinning right now. It's ridiculous. You got me looking miserable.
All right, I'm done interrupting now. I'll let you
Well,
talk.
it's actually your words of wisdom time.
My words.
Do you have anything else you want to put out there?
Nah, just be safe, people. As well, only thing I can tell you is respect the trucks and they respect you. Give yourself some room. Instead of trying to race to get in front of the truck, maybe just apply your brakes a little bit, go behind if you can.
Act like that
You
truck's
know,
got COVID.
because-
Fuck away from it.
Because what happens is that truck can't stop, and 9 times out of 10, the driver's going to be safe, and you're going to end up dead. You know what I mean? And I've
Another
seen
piece of advice, if you can't see that driver's face in his mirror, he cannot see you. You're in his blind spot. You get run over because you're in his blind spot, you can't see his face. You know to get the hell out of the way.
Well, once people see turn signal come on, they tend to speed up and try to speed along. Instead of letting you over for a couple seconds, you get back over. People got a tendency of trying to speed up and get into that space. You know what I mean?
Ready to get nowhere.
It's just driver courtesy. We need to get back to that. You know what I mean? Even in your regular vehicle, just let
Start
somebody pass. You know what I mean?
Blasting Luda down the street.
Yeah, you know,
Boom, boom.
driver courtesy. Just let the car or truck in and let them get back over. Let them get back over. You know, man, just driver courtesy. Just be courteous.
They're just doing their job, and their job is putting, in a lot of cases, food in your house, clothes on your back.
The electronics in your house.
Literally, and putting that shit in your house if you go buy it from any
Christmas toys under
stores.
the-
Yeah,
under the tree.
anything you can name, food, clothing, anything you, even
arcade.
pieces of your house came in on a truck
Yeah,
somewhere. You know what I mean?
fabricated houses
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, they come. You see them on the highway coming together.
Timbo, T-Bone, what do you got for us there?
Deer season's still in full swing. Everybody going out hunting, be safe, shoot straight.
Have you hit anything yet?
I actually had shot 2 bucks on
Fucking
Great
waste.
Island
I did that on purpose
with-
just so I could call you out on that shit.
with my crossbow. I tracked them. I had called for help to track them. We could not locate them. I wasn't due to lack of trying.
They went to the
spent
hospital.
Hours. That's why I figured they hit an urgent care because the blood trail just disappeared.
They love the dough.
But I am still actively hunting, and I'm going to go out with the rifle and shotgun. I've been out this week, and I haven't seen anything, unfortunately. But I'm not giving up because I got 3 last year, and I got a goal of getting at least 3 this year again. But everybody out there, be safe. Deer are going to be on the move. They're under pressure now, so when you're driving down the road, please keep your eyes open. Watch out, just not only just for truckers, but watch out for deer as well. And you know what? That was one of the things I was going to ask you. If you ever hit a deer, they call those the
Me?
meat grinder.
No, but I've seen a truck hit a deer,
You guys
and
don't stop.
I watched it. No, you're supposed to turn into the deer. Actually, I watched the deer explode. I watched his guts
shit.
all over the place.
Oh, it's
Yeah, it actually went to my windshield. And you could smell that. You know, you can smell that when it gets on your manifold, the blood and all that.
Yeah, I kind of had that weird taste in my mouth from that shit. Like, yeah, a metallic taste every time I.
no. I just
drink
hope
something.
everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Christmas is coming. You know to expect the Christmas tunes to be showing up on your radio station 24/7 now. Yes, Sean, you can put your damn Christmas tree and your Christmas lights up now.
Already working on it, buddy. My Christmas lights are out already, and it should be on by the time I get home.
And how about those bills today?
Man,
Yesterday.
Sorry, yesterday.
I don't like bills. A cable bill, electric bill, none of them bills. Even the Buffalo bills might as well be a bill to me. You know, here a bill, there a bill, everywhere a bill. But
This weekend is a big game.
if you take
Tomorrow.
away Stephon Diggs from Josh Allen, you ain't got shit with the Bills.
Well,
I don't know. Sanders didn't do bad.
the
When they
Bills
got
hit
him-
their regular week 8. They hot to week 8 after week 8.
Yeah, they seem
They
to do that a
plateau
lot.
and then they start to go down.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the big game for Ohio State, Michigan fans.
The rivalry
Yes.
game.
Yeah, Ohio State's ranked number 2, Michigan's ranked number 5. Ohio State's going to go hopefully
And then
at least stay at 2, if not go up to 1. Michigan's going to go to like 20.
Georgia's won.
only game I'm concerned about happens Sunday night at 8:20.
Oh, who are they playing this week?
The Browns.
Browns.
The Baltimore Browns versus the Cleveland Browns. That's
That's
going to be
it.
an interesting
That's
game.
That's
Well, it could be the Baltimore Colts if you want to go even further back.
Well, they actually came from Cleveland. I remember Art Modell. He was like a deadbeat dad. He packed up at nighttime.
Middle of the night.
Middle of the night.
Baby, I'm going to get cigarettes.
Yeah,
I'm right back.
The moving vans was right outside. And at midnight, when that lease expired, he was gone. I remember watching the news.
What's his name that moved to the Rams? That moved the Rams to
St. Louis.
From St. Louis to L.A.
To LA, yeah.
They just hit him and the league with a $780 million. They have to pay that.
Oopsie.
Well,
Because they moved in the middle of the night. Baltimore got slick and did it right.
well, no, Art Modell did it right. He waited till midnight. He sat there in the stadium. I remember Browns fans was out there. The news vans was out there. And at
Like
midnight,
fucking New Year's Day, this bitch is waiting on the ball to drop. That's it. Ball's down, let's go.
As soon
the
as
shit outta
midnight
here.
came, them trucks started up, all them lights came on. They were out of Cleveland and on their
Hell
way to
yeah.
Baltimore.
Shit out of here.
Well, I'm glad they're in Baltimore. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We're glad you joined us for another episode of Niagara Graffiti with Sean and Tim, my man Victor,
Thank y'all for
Miss
having me.
JoJo. Thank y'all and
appreciate
see y'all
y'all.
next week.